Put together a little lecture and I make the class watch. Pacific Northwest, where we're blessed with Sasquatch. Like in the Himalayas, the abominable snowman, known to have strength more phenomenal than Conan. Discovered evidence of this endangered species. Footprints, hair samples, even stranger feces. Put a bad taste in your mouth like a glass of scotch. Some say it smells worse than an ass or crotch. In British Columbia, they're more than legendary, even though the skeptics claim he's imaginary. Eyewitness accounts that attract attention, while others can't decide if it's a fact or fiction. Is there an ounce of truth? I don't pretend to know. I'm searching for the proof, whether friend or foe. Got his own erotic novel, getting naked with ladies. What's the missing 411? Ask David Pallades.
There's things that are not known. There's things that can't be known. There's things that won't be known. It's okay, you're not alone. There's things that are not known. There's things that won't be known. There's things that can't be known. It's okay, we're not.
I can't see
Ladies
myself.
and
I can't see
gentlemen.
myself.
No, nobody can see yourselves. Not yet. Look what's there. Sasquatch.Confessions and Friends. And guess
DMC's
what?
a hack. DMC is the real
There we
one.
are. There we are. The Sasquatch Confessions and Friends. The Lord of O.R.D is here, along with none other than Esquire JT
The one and only.
and Brian
With
Black.
our amazing
Well,
guest.
What does the Lord of O.R.D mean?
The Lord of O.R.D means
Well, I
Pork-
dubbed him
Porcus-
the Lord of O.R.D.
Porcus Canahamus in English.
Porcus can't.
I'm taking your place, bro.
The O.R.D is old religion dystopia, and that's what he used to go by. And one day I started calling him the Lord of O.R.D, and he just went with it.
It's a
great
piss
name.
off
It's
a
a
few
great name.
Christians. I like the idea. Those religious folks that really piss them off.
Old religious dystopia.
Old religion dystopia.
Brian is
Old religion
also
dystopia.
affectionately known as the Grand Pumbaa. Is this true?
Only to Kevin Royce. Sometimes known as Beef Wellington on our show.
Beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington, yeah. Beef
Getting away
Wellington,
from the pork.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, we got pork, yeah.
Sometimes
we
you got to walk away from that stuff, man. It gets a little nasty. Hey, guess what? Diesel. Let's shout out to Diesel, our bro Diesel. New Jersey Sasquatch. New Jersey Sasquatch, bro, you have almost 1 million views on your latest video.
Wow.
On Facebook Reels. Good job, brother.
1 million views.
On
That's
one
a lot
video.
of views, man.
On one
Man.
video. Just going to show you what we're all doing. We're all doing something wrong, man. But he's not. There you go, man.
Oh, man.
Good job, Diesel. He does a lot of hard work, man. He's always out there in the field, tromping around in the woods and sharing what he finds there, man. He says,
Yeah, I need to check out some of his stuff. For sure, I haven't done that yet.
What's the gentleman's name?
Diesel, I think Diesel in New Jersey.
Aztec Diesel, and then he's got his New Jersey Sasquatch. That's one of his pages, and then you can find him on Diesel on YouTube.
I like a good American fellow who calls the Sasquatch the Sasquatch.
Yeah,
there you go.
I don't know.
I get you.
I think you can really call Sasquatch anything as long as it's coming from respectful place in your heart. That's really all that matters. But there's some names I like better than others, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Just a personal
we
preference.
don't like to use the Bigfoot name too much either. I'm not really a fan of it.
You just did.
I know I did, but I
noticed I did without saying it. No, I don't have a big hang up with it. I'm just joking.
So, anyways, Mr. Bland has a Facebook page, just to let you know. He also has a very good indeed YouTube channel, Sasquatch BC, The True Story, The Pork and Bean Show, which also you could find the Pork and Bean Show. Voila.
Just like that.
Just like
Man,
that.
this guy's
The click away.
He's on it.
With a couple
Hey.
click.
honestly, I just like talking my truth or whatever, or the Sasquatch people's truth or whatever. But and I don't even what do you call it? Monetize my YouTube channel
Mm-hmm.
because I like putting too much of my old music on there that I like and stuff. That's more important to me than making a couple pennies. So, but anyway, but there's a lot of good information on my YouTube channel. I really would recommend people subscribe to that, man. At least it's a different way of looking at the Sasquatch people from a heartfelt basis, and from what I feel is the real them. The real.
And there's dogs, and there's also there's pets and there's dogs involved.
Yeah,
Everybody loves dogs.
Yeah, that's one of my two chihuahuas that used to actually they used to they used to bark, but like bark when like a friend's here. They would stop in the middle of the trail and look off into the woods, and they'd bark, and their tails would be wagging.
Who's going to manage the chat tonight, JT?
Okay, I'm on it. I'm on it as usual.
Just let you know that. I'm just. Hey, listen. In just a little bit, Brian's going to be bossing me around when it comes to these images. So come on, man.
So
it's a pecking order, right? It's about age, I think, or something. Seniority.
Well, you've been pecked to death. No, I'm just kidding.
That's very true. Oh my!
Hey, man, don't set me up like that.
What the frick? Oh man!
I failed. I'm sorry, Brian. I failed you on that one. I did not mean to do that.
No, that's
sure,
right.
sure, buddy.
I actually like that kind of stuff. I mean,
I meant to do this one. That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's either when the Viagra works or fails.
That's for sure.
One of the two.
I someday have to try that. Although, I don't know. That would have to mean that I'd have to get in a relationship again with a woman.
Hey, we could talk about relationships if you want. I mean,
definitely though. Everybody
I can make it real easy.
Actually, that is what we are talking about, really, in a sense.
The relationship with Sasquatch.
A different sort, yes, indeed.
And with yourself, getting to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a scary proposition?
Hey, JT, isn't that pretty scary?
Yeah.
I can laugh about it because I already went through it. I already know, man. You know what I mean?
So everybody out there, you should go over there and subscribe to Brian's channel. He does have amazing videos. I always watch them all the time. They're full of awesome, knowledge for you to learn the real truth about Sasquatch, man, what they're about. I definitely enjoy watching them.
And please,
I think everybody should go do it.
And please do not subscribe to my channel. Please do not.
No, that's what a horrible. Oh man, don't.
Whatever you
beg of you not to do it. Please,
don't.
I even put it on there. Did you notice? I put hello unsubscribers. So just please.
No. I mean, really, don't. Do not subscribe to this man's channel.
No, I'm begging.
We're begging you.
We're all begging you not to do it.
You guys can go over to mine if you like. No.
Yeah, I mean, JT, myself, we got good channel, but this guy, just steer clear.
Oh man,
He's gone. Man.
Oh, he's here. So Thursday night we'll be having Sasquatch Ontario on for everybody out there listening. If you want to tune into that will be happening Thursday night. Mike will be joining us.
Patterson?
Yeah.
Mike Patterson? Yeah.
Yeah, because we've become pretty good friends, over the last year or so. He started joining the TikTok lives, and next thing you know, he's hanging out in the lives for hours, and
yeah,
we just all became good bros.
Believe it or not, Brian, he actually comes on my channel. Believe it or not, jeez.
Yeah, that's the only. That's as high. That's as high as I get. Which is
as high as you get it. You sure about that, man? You better get some new stuff,
video
man.
evidence of Bigfoot interacted with you.
In real Bigfoot, of a real Bigfoot. Damn it! Why do I keep saying that fucking word?
Because
I mean, what do I say? That's what the whole channel's about, right? I mean, but I don't go around with my camera on all the time either, right? But
no,
I don't
know how to answer that. Yes, and yeah, I do. I guess I suppose.
So what do you feel about that? So, like Brian, for me, when I go out, I'm the same way. I do very few videos. I just take a few stills and I try to be aware of my surroundings. How do you go about it?
Well, the first thing is I try to show them respect. So I tell them if I turn my camera on, I tell them I got my video camera on, or I'm taking pictures. If you want to show up, you can. And, from some of the pictures we looked at last week, they do show up. So, I just try to show them as much respect as I can. So when I'm in their home, I don't really film. If they show me a glyph, or if there's a teaching moment or something profound happens, I'll do a reenactment of it. Or sometimes once in a while I'm filming live, just talking, and I'll come across a glyph or something like this is just happening. But yeah. I don't really, I just try to show them respect and give them let them be the boss out there, which they are anyway, right?
Yes.
I'm in their home as a guest, so that's how I interact with them.
Makes sense. How about you, JT? How do you see it? You have a little different approach than us.
How do I say that again? How do I what?
What is your feelings about that? About what Brian was saying? Because you have a different approach.
Sounds pretty good to me.
You do the video stuff, so
I do the video stuff, but it's like similar in ways, right? I just have my camera going, and I'm always talking and doing my thing out there, and like what he said, show respect to the forest and everything out there. That's basically how you would form a connection with Sasquatch. Really, that's about it, man.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how it goes.
I wasn't trying to say anything about how you go about it. I mean, they know what you're doing. They have the option.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're obviously working through you. So if they didn't like what you're doing, they wouldn't be doing that. So
exactly.
Oh man, there's Diesel right there. Now, by the way, I wasn't saying anything about my bro either. We have different approaches. That's the point. The point is we have different approaches.
Be outside is a good start. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Although once the connection, and I'm not saying I'm not outside, I'm always out there. But once the connection's established, you don't have to be outside. I mean, I felt them a few times during this show. You probably have too, Jared. I don't know. And I don't know about Michael, what your relationship was, if it's energetic or what, but they're here anyway.
You never feel that stuff, Michael.
Me? Of course I do. I told you that.
Energies.
I don't even. I told you that. You don't listen to that dang thing I say, boy. Oh wait.
Wait a minute.
Look, let's go back to this because Diesel's in the house. No. Just a reminder once again, Diesel's almost at 1 million views in this video. Everyone go over to Facebook and make it happen for our bro Diesel. Okay, so yeah, me, as I told you, I let the spirits guide me when I'm going to film and when I'm not. I don't go out all the time. I haven't been out since May.
A million views. Wow.
He hit 1 million earlier today, he said.
If I get like 400 or whatever, that's like a real good video for me.
100's for me. That's like oh wow, somebody actually watched it. Wow, that's amazing.
Who's Michael? Lord or nothing? What?
I would imagine that if you're getting 100 views, you'd be monetizing your channel. I would think. I would probably be persuaded to do that even if I got 1 million views.
That's funny. No, it's like with the whole YouTube thing, gotta have these watch time hours. I don't know what your watch time hours are at, but that's how they make you get 4,000 watch time hours before you can monetize, right? So
yeah,
it takes a while, man, and they go up and down, and they mess with it. I swear to God, like the YouTube people themselves.
I see. Dogman.Confessions is giving me some heck.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
You know what, Dogman? You know what, Dog? And
who's Michael? Lord or nothing?
Dogman.Confessions. Everybody's confessing tonight.
Yeah, but you know what dog is? You know what dog is in reverse is backwards. Dog is God. It's the God Man himself, LT on the Twin Towers.
Yeah, it's my twin brother, Dogman.Confessions. He just kind of does that to mock me in a way, like joking around. Right?
Jesus says it's a fluke. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry about it.
It's a fluke. 400 in a Walmart security camera.
I hit him.
All right. His name is the Lord, not Michael. That's what the Dogman says.
That's right,
All right,
Lord.
we will address him as the Lord from now on. That's it. That's all.
right. I changed my name.
The
I am the Lord, the Lord of O.R.D. Old religion stuff. So what are we going to do today, Sir Canham?
I don't know, man. I just go for it. Ask some questions or put some pictures on, or just
See.
Well, I know you want to talk about the core truth of Sasquatch, and why don't we do a little more of that to get their message out there.
We'll get there. We'll get there eventually, right?
Mm-hmm. This is quite the picture here. Eh? Like, look at that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can't. I'm not. I'd be a fool. Anyone's a fool who says that every structure and everything that they find is Sasquatch. That's not using discernment.
Mm-hmm.
But I see a lot of different kinds of structures. Some look more Sasquatchy than others, but this one's pretty cool. I'd say it's a contender for being made by them for sure.
You remind me of a xylophone.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
You see consistencies in a lot of them too, right? So, but then there could be, well, I don't know. It's the structures are always frustrating, but when you see them walking around them, when you see their tracks there, when you see their glyphs there, and other evidence, and they live there, they're doing quite a few of them, right?
So, just a question about the structures. Like, when you find all these structures that you found, do you find them in other areas? Like are they all in a close area, or is it are they spread out at all, or?
They're all over the place.
Yeah. You know what I mean,
and
right?
They can do, and they can do them. I mean, as bizarre as it sounds, like we've got this sounds ridiculous, I know, but it's true, because they also leave the glyphs that are undeniable and other stuff, and just other experiences go on right across the street from me in just a little park that's just like an acre or something, a little wooded area. There's stuff in there they're doing stuff in there all the time. But it's kind of hard to tell who's doing what though too, because there's little kids in there running around doing stuff too, eh? But then some of the stuff I find is undeniable because it's the direct personal messages that there's just no other way of looking at it, and some of the structures too. I mean, I've had did you ever see the one where I was finding all those messages over there just leading up to the camp out, and there was the AX was hung from a tree, made out of two vines. I'm not sure if I've seen that one. The A for RE and the X for friendship welcome from the clan of RE glyph. It was hanging right from two vines from a tree, and it was just like, man, this is just undeniable. I should try to find that picture actually when we have a break or something. Like I said, kids are dumb these days. Well, no, kids. I have seen kids doing stuff. So I mean, but they're not like they used to be. Not like the old kids. Yeah, they're too busy doing other stuff. But anyway,
what did the old kids used to do? What are you talking about?
Well,
they played in the forest, man.
Me,
56 going
on 13. What do you want?
We used to run around in the forest playing cowboys and Indians and all kinds of stuff.
That sounds like fun.
I think I was on the cowboy side then, but now I'm on the Indian side. If I was going to play it again for real,
there you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, man.
I've always been
on the Indian side. It makes sense 100%.
I've always been on the Indian side. I have no idea what
you have. Well, I was just a kid, I thought,
I was a rebel. Rebel. So, this is a pretty cool looking rock, man. Whatever that's going on here.
Yeah, I find that everything has.
Look at the skull on it, man.
Energy or whatever. Rocks have consciousness and stuff, right?
Look at the freaking skull.
Yeah.
Holy Moses! Look at the freaking skull.
Holy man!
That's a crazy looking rock, bro.
Rocks are conscious beings, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. That's what they say, man. You know?
I've had some pretty wild teaching moments with rocks and whatever it is. You know, I guess you heard Bean's rock story with a.
Mm-hmm.
That was
The
pretty
God
wild.
rock.
But I mean, yeah. But anyway, I mean, yeah, rocks have personality and stuff. And yeah, this is one that I found quite interesting. And I do see that skull in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's very.
But what
sticks
did
out,
you?
man.
What do you? Is that what we're supposed to look at, or what do you see in it in specific?
I just think that rocks have consciousness or whatever. I'm just showing some interesting rocks with faces on them. You know, like I'm not really going anywhere other than that.
Okay, it is an interesting rock.
So we can look at a few.
I like
How
it,
big
man.
is-
It's very cool picture.
Don't worry, guys. It'll get better. I'm just waking up.
What must we do to wake them up?
What you do to wake up?
Do we got a story behind this one?
No, it's just that, you know, a lot of the gift rocks that I've been given, I call these face rocks or whatever that I've been given, I give away to friends. I think that ended up with my friend Arla, maybe, or maybe Tom Cantrell. I'm not sure. Most of the rocks I give away, but of course, my 3 gift rocks we talked about last week, they're not going anywhere. Yeah, we don't have to go into detail on these. I'm just kind of whipping through these.
Do you think like Sasquatch is helping, like not helping you, but like I know you've been giving them to your friends. Do you think they're like guiding you to do that for a reason?
Well, yeah, and I think that they leave them sometimes for us too. You know, like, you know, they'll leave them propped up or whatever, and yeah, they'll leave them as gifts, obviously, as you know. So we can move on. There's nothing really to see here other than it's a cool little gift rock.
Why do I feel like it was like a scene in South Park? Nothing here to see here. Move on.
That's just a cool, like, you know, like a huge giant rock face. Like, you know, there's faces of things in the mountains or whatever too. There's a few faces there I see, but
is this the eye that you see, sir?
I believe so, sir.
Okay.
Which one are you pointing at?
There's right here. There's an eye. You can see the
I see it. I see like
you can even see the pupil and stuff. Yeah.
That's
cool.
good.
I also see a smaller face in there though too, right above the eye to the right.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place.
It's just like I see what you're saying too though. It's cool. I've seen lots of cliffs or rock faces like that as well. There's this one that we hiked to where we tracked the Sasquatch for 7 kilometers, where there's this rock, this giant rock cliff wall, and there's this big face on it, man. It's very similar to this. It's cool though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Just
another one. It's got personality to it, right? It looks kind of grumpy, right?
I see it.
It does. There's the mouth, and there's
He's a grumpy.
It actually kind
guy.
of looks like a Squatch face.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know,
Well, I
totally.
mean, that's why
see
they
it.
will leave you stuff like that sometimes, right? You know, because they know you're going to put that together, obviously. But
Connect the
anyway,
dots.
these are just fun to look. I mean, no, I mean they do leave them for us. I mean, quite often. So I'm not discounting them. I mean, they're those 3 rocks that that I got as the gift rocks. I mean, to me, they mean the world to me. So I'm not discounting them, but they are where they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else going on around that rock, or is it in particular like cliff wise or anything, or is it just
There's a bunch, just some dirt and moss.
Hey,
A little bit of moss there.
is that part of? Is that how they speak to you a little bit? A little bit of dirt and moss, or something?
Hey man, you know what's funny is the last time I went up to my area, there was this huge section.
Go ahead, Dishty. We're not ignoring you. We're just I had to make
There's
sure.
this huge
He's throwing a punch
carpet.
at me. I had to make sure to get him there. So okay.
A huge carpet of moss was laid down at the entrance of where we walk in, and then there was these sticks that formed a and maybe it was a glyph, but I didn't put it together or think about what it was. But there was these broken sticks that were peeled. The bark was peeled off, and they were literally placed into the moss and in a some kind of design or fashion, right? And I just I didn't think much of it other than it was totally placed there. And I kind of moved the sticks around, so I don't even remember what they were in, but I remember it was like this really, it was definitely placed there by somebody, Sasquatch.
Yeah, that sounds like something they do. I mean, they in a lot of these structures that I find, they'll haul in moss, and they'll have it right in the middle of the structure and stuff, right?
Anybody been zapped or followed home?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you describe the zap thing for us? Because I know I've had their energy. I don't know if that's being zapped or the love zap or what. Like I've felt their love, but it just feels like a warm, like really good feeling to me, right?
Well, I mean,
that's how I describe it.
Energy is a universal language. That's basically how they communicate with me. Like they've been communicating with me on this show through energy. Just some energy nudges, like when they like what I'm saying or want to make a point or like what you're saying or whatever. But as far as the zapping goes, I mean, it's so diverse.
Yeah.
It's just so many different types. I mean,
it's kind of different for everybody.
I wouldn't call it download a zap. Like I've walked through the woods before and actually felt downloads filtering in right through the top of my head, and just and then you have that big knowing kind of thing or whatever, just it's heavy duty stuff, man. You're just walking along and you can feel all this information coming into you. But I wouldn't consider that zapping. But well, I mean, it's so diverse. One I can describe is that how in the Wizard of Oz, I guess even you young guys have probably seen that show, or have you?
Yeah.
You know how when Dorothy's running through the up to the Emerald Kingdom or whatever, or whatever it's called, through the poppies, and they feel like they're going through a force field and they can hardly move and stuff. I've been zapped where it feels like you can barely move, and it does feel like there's something pushing against you or whatever. And I think sometimes they have sensitive areas they just don't want you in. It wasn't anything other than we got stuff going on today and whatever. And it was also in the first few years they were doing a lot of that stuff. Hard to describe. I mean, zapping, it's just like I would almost have to go to separate occurrences and describe what happened in each one, because they're all so diverse. Some of them feel sometimes it actually feels almost erotic, but not sexual, if that makes sense. Have you ever felt that?
Well,
there's all different kinds of energy. I mean,
I don't know if I can describe it as that, but I can in different ways.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Brian. I thought that was a cue. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, I'll be listening, but don't ask me to. My chair broke right before. It's got to be something. So my chair broke. So I'm in the midst of. I'm listening, but I'm going to mute myself. So don't ask me to move anything for a little bit.
Hey, we're going to get you on the. We're going to get you on the Pork and Bean show. I mean, we couldn't have you on the show, of course. But
what makes you think I would agree to that? Now, come on now. Hey, but wait. Hold on.
It's not an invite to come on the show, but we want you in the background doing that.
I knew that's what you want me to be the sound effects guy. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
So don't ask me to.
We're spending a lot of time on these rocks that I was just wanted to brush over, but that's fine. Okay.
Well,
where did you go?
The rocks are gone. What else to say here, man? The with all the clan there, the RE clan, how did they tell you their name like that? Did they just give it to you one day, or Like, did you get a
Well,
mind speak? Like, how did you get that?
I was actually, I mean, they don't tell me their names through MindSpeak. I communicate with them through Well, I have had MindSpeak, but it's not. I don't get trivial information that I could, like it's just the core information of it, and I like it that way because the other stuff you can go off on little different tangents or whatever, and mirroring and all that stuff that we talked about. That really I don't want to go down, but like people like Tom Cantrell and Arla Collette Williams told me their names. But the thing is it doesn't matter what their name is.
No.
Because when I energetically say that name, they know, they tune into that frequency, or that I'm saying the name and that energy and whatever. So really what you call them is really, it's just like, what planet did they come from? It doesn't matter. What you call them doesn't matter. When you call them R.E., R.E. is there. He knows by the energy, and that I'm calling him.
Or you're putting out there.
Yeah. So I think the names are cool, but I actually don't even know if it's really their names. That's the name that I go by. That's the name that they recognize when I put that energy and that feeling and that name out there. So that's all that's important, right?
So a question about glyphs here, like, do you ever have like the same glyph have different meanings for yourself? Have you ever had that happen?
Excuse me. Well, I often no, because I have one glyph would mean one certain thing for me. However, in different circumstances, there could be slight variations, or there's a bunch of different glyphs that they use. If they use them in combination with other glyphs, and maybe we have a few pictures of some of those, there'd be 4 or 5 symbols woven in together to form a unified message.
Yeah.
And then the message can kind of adapt a little bit or whatever, or fit the other glyphs, so it might say friendship welcome from the clan of R.E., which would be an A and an X, signed by 4, which is Fortean. He would put his signature there on some. So you would get an A, X, and a 4 all in one glyph. And I would read that as, the greeting from the clan, personalized by Fortean, representing the 4, representing the clan of, so.
Very cool, man. Yeah.
And I mean, I've had I'm just not running around looking at 6. I've had like tens of thousands of these. And like I said, everywhere I go, I mean, right at my doorstep sometimes. So they're really with us everywhere we go. I mean, they're with us right now, energetically.
For sure. I know I remember seeing one on your page where they literally made like a little dude, kind of. He was like, it almost like he was hiking. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
The hiking man, yeah. They were sometimes the glyphs will have a personal meaning for me. Sometimes they will just depict what they see you doing. Like that was just as far as I'm concerned, that was just them doing a picture of me hiking. And there were so many little elements in that glyph. If we can look at that when we get around to it, we don't have to go there right now, but I think we have it. But that I recognize as their work, like, and it was a progression, like a kindergarten thing. Like they would partially snap a little stick. This was a few months into it after I was seeing A's and X's. And then I took note of that, and then I started noticing that all the time. And then they just incorporated it into their stuff moving forward. So it's kind of like learning the alphabet or kindergarten, or all of their teachings are kind of like that. And then you just progress, right? They give you a little more and a little more. They're master teachers, man, for sure.
So yeah, it's how they kind of work. They just start off slowly. And next thing you know, messages are coming through.
So I'm not sure which picture that would be.
It doesn't matter. We can, when we get to it.
I want to let you guys know that I've worked my butt off so hard with this show in the past month that I literally broke my chair. I'm not kidding. I have to put a freaking pillow on or actually right now I'm using a blanket just to have
Be
a
comfortable.
yeah, because it's like leaning literally to the left. I'm like,
Word,
Yeah,
look at that.
that's just like a mountain face kind of thing. Yeah, just
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
stuff in nature. I mean, nature's amazing, man, and just it's life is everywhere, and it just
That's
reminds
so
you.
cool because it's a sideways picture, eh? Like
Yeah.
it's like that, but it's
so do you
totally,
know
that's
the
such a
gal that
cool,
does the
such a good
Montana?
photo.
Do you know the gal that does the Montana monoglyphs and has her the channel?
I don't
Do I?
think I do.
So you, Brian?
No.
No.
I
Okay.
just know that Frank Zappa song going to Montana soon.
Yeah,
Yippee-yi-oh-ki-yay. You ever heard that one? You ever heard that one?
God, well, if I did, it had to been 30 years ago. I kind of grew
Check
up.
it out, man. Going to I think it's just called Montana, Frank Zappa. Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll keep my mouth.
Anyway, that's a different show. Anyway, why we gotta be moving on here, Mr. Adams.
Wait a minute. Just for that jab. Just for that jab.
Oh man.
Okay, there's one that I think that they propped up for me. I
That's
just sat
cool.
down and then I just sat down and and it was kind of like one of those days where neat stuff was going on anyway. And then I just sat down and looking this right in the face.
The thing is staring straight at you.
It's like a cross between a face and a heart, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you had any physical experience, like saw them or heard them? Well, oh my God, yes. Of course. Many.
Have you ever heard them like doing their calls, like these calls people record up in the hills? Like I've heard them a couple times out in Chehalis. Yeah. And it was undeniable, man. Undeniable.
I've heard them talking.
Mm-hmm.
I heard them talking for like a long time. Randy Burson and I heard them talking one time, and they kind of sounded like right, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And it went on for like 10 minutes, man. One time we were just like, what the, it was just like supernatural. And the thing is the next day I'm thinking, why didn't I record that? I was so like, it felt like I was in met them halfway in their world and my world. It felt like I was in a neutral place. It just felt supernatural. Mm-hmm. I've heard that stuff that sounds like screaming and wind and whatever, like those those calls or whatever, like those really hair-raising things. I've heard those. I've heard just screams, a lot of whoops, like whoop, like tons and tons and tons of those. And so just as far as vocals go, I probably heard a lot of the different stuff that's out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reminds. I mean, like we heard them. I've heard them do the calls. That one night they did it like 2 times, 2 separate times, and then we've heard them like, I don't know. We just called it like monkey chatter, because like that's what people would call it. But like, we were out in the river and we could hear them in the bushes around us, probably like maybe 100 yards away at the most.
Yeah,
if that, not that far, not even that far. When I think of it, it's like 50 yards around us.
Sometimes it just sounds like a mumbled conversation of 2 people, like kind of low and mumbly, and you can hear them talking off into the woods and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
another one. Look at this one.
Yeah, that's just he doesn't like being out in the cold water. This guy.
Is that frozen?
No.
Oh, it looks like it's kind of icy.
And I used to.
Doesn't look frozen.
No one is ever happy to be put in a cage.
Flowing water, man.
See the little Sasquatch face right beside him in the water? No, the other side. Of course you would go to that. Right there, I can see the 2 eyes.
Well, you said the little one, not the big one. That's the big one right there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there you go.
There's
I know it's pareidolia, but they both look kind of freaked right out.
It's
Yeah, I
pretty
see
cool.
something
It's
there.
pretty cool if it's Prettydolia. Prettydolia? Is that a word?
Well, the rock.
Yeah, that's
the
what
rock,
it is. It's called Prettydolia. This one, it's a Prettydolia. I like this one.
Well, that's not that's an actual rock. We're talking about the Peridolia to the or
No,
possibly Peridolia to the right.
this one I call Prettydolia. I like it. I like it.
Okay. All right.
Yes, indeed.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
Brian still hasn't figured me out yet. He'll get there.
Oh yeah, I have.
No, yeah.
I haven't.
Nobody
Yeah,
can
figured out
figure
the
this
bit-
guy
You
out.
know nothing about
What?
the Lord of O.R.D.
But there's one thing though, you keep going over back and forth like your picture selection could. But
Well,
you
you
only
only
how
get-
many shows?
I just ran through all the ones you gave me after the last show. So now I had to go and I had to pick some more because, I put a lot of time into my guests. You know what I mean? No, you probably don't. But yeah, I do put a lot of time into guests. I like this one.
Okay.
And this
Am I
is
a guest?
you're the Lord of Ward's guest. You are, sir.
Oh, okay.
And here is actually a beautiful picture, and I'm assuming that's your beautiful wife along with this. What's going on there?
Just a big pile of stuff that that Sasquatch structure possible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, possible. Who would do that? Why would they do that? Who would? Why
Well,
would you?
that's the thing. I mean, you see some of them are just too big, too epic, too much involved. And I mean, and you look at some of them and you think, just a bunch of kids put that together. But then you really look and you look around the area and you say, man, that took a couple of days to get that going. I mean, where do they bring all that stuff in from, right?
Right.
Some of the ones that you have on your videos are, I've seen these ones that were like they almost looked like big, not cabins, but they were almost built like cabin style.
Yeah.
There was like a smaller one too and a big one.
I've seen all kinds of those.
That was
I
cool.
do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. But it's the structures are tough. You just gotta you just gotta know what you're looking at and then make an educated guess and know that they do make a number of them.
What's your take about
for sure.
Brian? What's your take of them being found all over the world?
Structures or
Yeah.
Sasquatch?
Structures in particular.
Well, I mean, for instance, there's these little fire rings that we talked about a little bit last time, and I think I got a picture of one of those we can show. They're found all over the world for some reason, so that's common. And I think, the structures are definitely found all over North America, and I think probably everywhere that pretty well all over the world.
I just interviewed a guy from England, from Essex. And he's got some amazing structures. Dogman teepee hunting. Amazing structures. And some of them are massively big that there's no way that the kids were doing it. And it really all of it.
Well, one of the reasons that they, people always say, they're doing them in campgrounds, you moron or whatever, like one of the things they don't understand is that the Sasquatch are trying to reach out to people. Like, hi, here I am. Do you see me? If you see them and you pick up on them or whatever, then maybe they can introduce themselves, because they're really trying to reach out to people who are willing to
Connect.
to listen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons they're there, and they love they're going to be around people, that are doing high energy things. We're people having more fun and doing more high energy things than kids in a campground and stuff, and their parents even, they let go of all their troubles or whatever. So the Sasquatch, if you're sitting there talking about Joe Bidung and Mr. True Dung and the Dung brothers and stuff or whatever, they're gonna stand clear of you, right? When you're talking high energy stuff, talking about them, spiritual stuff, stuff of that nature, that's when they're going to come around.
Yeah.
Because you kind of like I said, when I had that experience when they were talking, you have to kind of meet them. They're up here, we're here. We have to kind of meet them in the middle. So when you're talking high vibration stuff, positive stuff or whatever, then that's when they're going to come around. You're more likely to interact with them.
They see it. They wanna join in on the fun.
Looks like we got another one of them. Why?
Wow.
Yeah.
MCA. Just need them.
We can move on. There's no big story with this.
Yeah.
That's all.
FJB.
Yes. Oh, there's an A.
Yeah. No, there's a cool one. Now, I would say that was a friendship welcome from the clan of O.R.D signed by Fortean. You see the 4?
Mm-hmm.
See how there's a 4 there too?
Yeah, I do.
You see how intricate that can be? Like there's a 4, there's an A, there's an X.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So I would read that as friendship welcome from the clan of O.R.D signed by Fortean. He's a guy that is not energetically and stuff. I don't feel him as much as the other 3 I know, but he's going around leaving glyphs and stuff, and he's been very, very integral in a lot of my lessons and a lot of the stuff that's been going on, including leaving some pretty cool glyphs like this one.
How long have you been interacting with your clan, Brian?
Consciously since 2012, because I think that they interact with us long before they introduce themselves to us. They're watching us long. Those that they trust to represent them, people like JT, myself, and you, Michael. They've been watching us and in the background long before we realize it. I think, and you realize that too, JT.
Oh yeah, definitely. For sure, they've always, like we say, they've always been there. They gave me the memory of seeing them when I was a kid again and showing me there was no fear, man. There never has been. And it's like, it's weird, man. It's just this thing that comes over you. You have this knowing that that's all it's hard to explain it to anybody else, but
I had this thing when I was a teenager of this humanoid figure showed up at the foot of my bed. And he looked just like a fluorescent light bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
The outline, it was just all fluorescent. There was no substance to him. He just stood there, looked at me, and then I looked beside me, and he was on his hands and knees looking at me, like right in my face. And you'd think that would freak me out, right? But it was just like you said, it was just like, oh, that was cool, because I think that just below our subconscious, we know who these people are, and it's like, they don't freak us out because they're not strangers to us.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a fine example of one that's has nice, well-groomed goatee.
Nice groomed what?
A nice, well-groomed goatee.
Hold on a second.
Sasquatch.
Are you reading? Sorry.
Sasquatch people.
Say it again, Mike or Brian.
Oh, zapping the other evening, felt like my body was being loaded with energy. Yeah, I've experienced that. Yeah, went out for longer than 10 seconds. I would have been scared. They could be giving you a healing. They could be giving you a download of information. They could all kinds of different reasons why they will happen. So.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one a lot, by the way.
Why?
Can you guys tell what's going on in here? Brian should. He's the one who filmed it. But can you guys see what else is going on in here? There's not just some sticks going on here.
You're not going to get that boing sound going again, are you? Is that what you?
Well, you can't hear me? You can't tell my?
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear.
What's it saying to you?
What are you seeing, Michael? What are you seeing?
Well, I just like the way it's all just the rocks and the leaves and everything. All a little bit of art going on there, man. Artistic expressions. So it almost looks like there's a feather there, but it's not. What is that? Is it just bark? You know what I'm talking about?
That one
right here.
That one's not it.
It's not a feather, but it almost looks like when it's sort of on. But I
don't know. I see the open triangle there, which is my friend's little bud, the little guy. That's his sign. The other stuff, I don't know. It just looks like stuff on the ground, man. You're reading tea leaves on the ground there, my friend.
I don't. Maybe I am.
Oh, this is my little. This is my little dog. One of my little.
Yes. I don't see him. Where is he?
He's right there.
There he is. There he is.
Showing off his posterior. What I like these beautiful trees, sir, and it's just I'm assuming this is the reason why you filmed it, or is it over the dog? Because this is really cool.
They are, yeah, very, very beautiful up here, like a rainforest.
I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, man. That's how I've always felt. You know.
Do you think
nowhere like home?
The Sasquatch might have anything to do with this? These bends here? Or am I tree lease again?
They can, yeah. I mean, I've seen stuff where they can bend stuff. Like I've got this. Remember that circle glyph I showed you with all the it looked like 1,000 different sticks were all bent.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they could just bend them, man. Just with like they can appear anywhere or whatever. I mean, how did they find like 2,000 sticks or whatever that were all like bent like that? I mean,
perfectly the same bent to them. Like, yeah,
it's beyond imagination. So, I mean, I think that they can manipulate shapes or whatever. Well, I mean, look at the R.E. face in the rock. I mean, you know, I don't think they sculpted that in there. I think he just put his energy into it and changed the molecular structure of the rock, I guess. I'm not a scientist, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. I mean,
shape shifting, you know.
Like with my stone here that I have, the markings on it.
I'm looking at piercing it. I'm reading the tea leaves, bro. I'm just checking it out.
He's searching.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry there, JT.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. My stone though, like the story on it, right? Some people will look at it and go, those are natural marks on that stone. You know, like say that's made naturally. It's not, hasn't been chipped away. And I go, yeah, well, that's how the Sasquatch works, man. They just put their freaking energy into it.
Absolutely.
That's just how, like if somebody looked at it, they're going to go, this is normal, or, it hasn't been carved into the rock. I mean, it's clearly carved into the rock to me. I can see it clear as day. But, I believe that's how they do it, right?
Well, yeah. Well, like my name in the rock, right?
Yes, that's such an amazing picture, man. That rock was so cool.
I'll show it to you when we get together.
Yeah, man. Like, it literally has your name signed in the stone, man.
From like, what, 1 million years ago? I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, how long has it been in there? It wasn't just scratched in the stone. What are you doing, Mr. O.R.D?
I'm just looking at the head. I'm just looking at the heads. That's all the faces. Also.
He's doing
I do what I do, man.
Yeah, this is what he does. He looks at pictures and finds things in them.
Yeah, well, I do too. But but then I get out of the bathtub and
hold on. That deserves a.
I know. But anyway, come on, man.
Let's go.
It's a nice photo you took.
Yeah, I don't. That.
Hey, you literally gave me like 6 or 8 images, and I really went through them. I don't know what you want me to do about it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't give you some good ones for some reason. That one, that's a T, but go on.
It's called teamwork. And
or you swapped them out for some of my less compelling ones or something. I don't know. Yeah, okay. There's an example of how they will lean a stick up against another one. They started doing that about a year into my glyph journey, and then they were constantly doing it. So it's just, one of the things you look for. Yeah. When you're looking for their glyphs or whatever, if you see that, or they'll do something unique for you too. I mean, it's not going to be.
Oh yeah.
My journey.
Yep.
That's just, but they're going to do stuff that if you pay attention to, they'll continue to do, is what I'm saying.
It's funny, right? Because this is how I used to never really like I paid attention to glyphs, but I never really put anything to them or much. I just kind of thought they're cool. And about in the summertime, I started watching like more of your videos and just seeing what you were doing and just putting that kind of thought out there. They gave me the AI glyph, and then these things started happening, and they had meanings to them, right? They had meanings behind them
Absolutely,
for me.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like the same thing, the meanings for you at all, right? So
No.
I mean, but it's like they started showing me more when I started paying attention to your journey and like seeing how you do it. And then next thing you know, they're showing me. Like I wasn't like putting your meanings to anything like mine, but like I'm as soon as I started paying attention to that, they showed me more.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like
they know, yeah, and they know you were watching my, I mean, that's you know, how amazing they are. They knew you were watching the videos.
for
So,
sure.
you know, now they're going to start showing you some stuff, right?
Mhm.
So here we got an X with just a friendship welcome X, and it's got one of those little sticks in there, but let's move
Now,
on.
would you consider that a friendship welcome with an A? Like an A glyph as well?
Yes. Yeah, we're looking at it the wrong way. It should have been the other way.
It's upside down, yeah.
Well, for me it is anyway.
Yeah. It's that way on the computer.
Well, if that's the case,
Oh, it doesn't matter.
here we go.
Hey, there it is.
Hey, I took it from your Facebook, so you can't blame me.
This would be friendship welcome. Like your meaning would be friendship welcome from Clan of RE.
Right.
Okay.
And they will leave that anywhere, you know, like Oregon, Washington. I'll just think it and it'll be right below my feet kind of thing. You know, that's how
so wild
amazing
how
it is.
works.
No, it
so
really
cool.
does. And it hasn't happened just once. Like you literally just get the thought and there's, oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, they're as diverse as your imagination, some of these glyphs.
Here's a question. Brian, they ever tell you their age?
No, they tell me a lot of people like have the connection where they tell them where they're from, their names, their age. They just tell me the core kind of truths, that the real simple, like, but the profound things that could changes all or whatever, like our conscious shift or whatever, because we'll get into that later. And I don't want all these details. That's just a bunch of useless information. Like what to me, it's just details, right? Like, I don't care if they came from planet Xeon or something. I care what they're teaching us, what they have to teach us now. I care about my relationship with them and the friendship and the family kind of thing, right? Yeah. Some of these things you got to kind of watch out for. Like, I mean, a lot of that could just be obviously random, but why are you showing all my weakest pictures? You're trying to discredit me, Michael H. Adams. Move on, sir.
Move on. Oh man.
Yes, sire.
Oh,
Esquire.
Okay, well,
that almost looks like a print.
There's one in the track. Yeah, there's one in the track. See what I'm saying? They leave an obvious glyph with a track. Like that's like a calling card glyph. Like, here, dummy, if you don't see it now, we'll leave a glyph here too, you know, or a track here.
That's cool, man.
And that's not a very good picture of it, but you know, they've done that many times where they will, you know, like, they're quite obvious at times.
Oh yeah.
Attention, right?
It's the little subtle things you got to pick up on.
I took this one because it was just beautiful. Nice job.
So beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Where is this at? What's the location of this place?
This is beautiful British Columbia.
Where? British Columbia.
Around Maple Ridge.
Is that what it's called there? Maple Ridge? Or is there a particular name for that mountain range?
Yeah, Maple Ridge. Oh,
it's right here.
This is the Golden Ears Peaks, I think.
Golden Ears Peaks?
Okay. You know, they say that the native stories are that's where the Thunderbird lives up on the top there. And I seen a Thunderbird. Okay, I witnessed the Thunderbird fly right over my house. It had 20-foot wingspan. It was absolutely gigantic, and it was only maybe 100 feet off the coast.
Yeah.
Like it was right there above the trees, right in my yard, and it just soared. And I watched it like it didn't flap its wings once, but it was flying directly to the mountain, like the mountain tips there.
Did you hear it?
No, but my mother was right there. This is the craziest thing, guys. We're standing on the deck. She gets a phone call, and she answers it, and they say her friend who lives in DeRoche, which Brian knows where that is. It's like, Terry, you're not going to believe this. I just seen the most giantest bird fly over the trailer court here, like where she lives. And as soon as she was on the phone and she heard those words, I look up and it's literally flying over our house.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like
wow.
20-foot wingspan, man. It was like this golden, the underside of the wings was like a light golden color. And it was this freaking giant bird, dude, the size of like a Cessna plane. It was freaking huge.
Holy crap.
You know?
Well, can I tell you a bird story? It's not, well, it's cool in the spiritual sense, but that one is like mind-boggling. But, you know, everything's connected and whatever. And the Sasquatch or the universe can connect with you through all kinds of things like animals, birds. The Sasquatch can shapeshift into them, see through their eyes, all that kind of stuff. But one time my wife and I were doing a smudging ceremony in the forest. And you know our forest, the canopy is pretty dense in some places, right? For a big bird.
Oh yeah.
So we're doing and this kind of stuff happens all the time. Like it's just about connection. It's just you being open to the universe or the universe talking to you or a message or whatever. So anyway, we're doing a smudging ceremony and I'm facing one way and she's facing the other way. All of a sudden I see this giant bird flying in and I thought it was a pterodactyl at first. I said, what the hell is that? Is it a pterodactyl? And its wings were so big that it had to bring them into its body as it flew into the canopy. And it landed on a tree about 100 yards, maybe not even that far from us, and just stood there or just sat there, watched us do the entire ceremony. And I was saying to my wife, get my camera, you know, and she was like, no, we're going to finish this ceremony. We're going to do it right. I said, anyway, you know how the women are. She wouldn't do it right. So as soon as the ceremony was over, she turned around and handed me my camera, and she just saw it. It flew off just as she handed me my camera. And it was so big once again that its wings had to come into its body and it had to maneuver out like a plane. Mm-hmm. And we figure that it was actually was a golden eagle. Mm-hmm. But you know, the thing is that it was there just because we're all connected, right? It was just watching us. Sure. It could have been R.E. looking at us through the eyes of the golden eagle. You know, because he's sent me messages through ravens, through owls. Even seeing them in human form is crazy as that is to believe.
I've heard of it before. I've heard of it, man.
I mean, it's undeniable. Absolutely undeniable.
Can you get into that one for us, maybe, that experience? I'd like to hear about it.
The human thing?
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, I mean, there's a number of them, but I'll get into
whatever. Any of your favorite ones.
Okay, I'll just kind of run over it and do a little short version of it. So I don't know if Kevin Royce is still listening, but he was kind of involved in some of this stuff too. And by the way, I was talking to him about glyphs and whatever and leaving them and starting a connection with glyphs and whatever. And he's one of many who actually did that kind of stuff and was getting responses. So it's really doable. If you want to connect with Sasquatch and you're respectful and you start leaving glyphs and whatever and just putting your intention out there, even let them know what it means to you. you could have something along these lines too, and it's pretty rewarding, when you start communicating with them back and forth, So anyway, what were you saying? You wanted me to
The experience about having seen Sasquatch in human form or coming to you like that.
Oh, okay.
Just wondering
Well,
how that all took place or went down. Just interesting to know.
okay. Well, what is this?
That's my twin brother. We're just out in the woods. This is where we go. That's Dogman Confessions, everybody. Just trying to walk on the log and can't do it. Oh man, and I'm the guy filming.
Okay, let's turn that off for just a second so I can, because otherwise I want to watch this. There we go.
Sometimes we play them in the background.
Yeah, but I haven't seen them, so I'm gonna put my attention into them. So okay, so these stories, I mean, there's stories within stories within stories, right? So anyway, I'm going around the campground and I'm constantly noticing these colored rocks, painted rocks, that are being left in a lot of structures. And I know kids go camping and they paint rocks and stuff. That's one of the things they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that from experience that the Sasquatch in some cases will take what kids leave, like even toys or whatever, or rocks, and they'll leave them too. They'll place them here or there and everywhere. So I'm walking through the woods and I'm thinking, are you guys leaving these rocks? And I'm thinking, well, I don't know right now, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to get my answer. And I remember saying that. I actually said it right on a live video. I said, I'm going to get my answer. And about a month later, I'm with this guy who's connected with Sasquatch, and we're camping, and we're just pulling into the one of the sites, and we're feeling all this energy, just this amazing Sasquatch energy, and he's drawn over to this stump, and he pulls a rock out from the stump. And and he gets a voice in his head, not this one. He goes to the other side and pulls a rock out. It's buried, and it's a painted rock. Not this one. And as soon as I see he pulled the painted rock out, I knew that was my answer, right? That and the kicker is that they are so detailed or whatever. Is the rock was orange, which is my favorite color. Like they don't leave any details out. I even put that together, right? So all this is going on, and we're just feeling all this amazing energy all around us. All of a sudden, we look up the hill and we see this what looks like a kid, normal, and with a stick in his hand, banging on a tree with a stick, right? When we look up and he drops the stick like a deer in the headlights, and he runs off across this mountain, this kind of thing, like Carl Lewis, like he's doing the 100-yard dash. Now, this is mossy, tree strewn, hard to maneuver, tangled up terrain up there. Yeah. You cannot run. You have to walk gingerly or over stuff. You cannot run. And what I saw this guy doing, like I said, was like Carl Lewis. It defied imagination, my friend and I.
So
there is more. I wish my friend Kevin was here. He had an experience where he saw a whole family of them walking out of the woods, one after the other, as people. But the thing is that some of the female Sasquatch have a very pleasant, flowery scent to them.
I've heard that
nice
before.
Or whatever. And I'm not going to get into his story or whatever, but it's absolute proof to me. It just confirmed what I knew, and I smelt that scent with my female or whatever. Anyway, these people walked by. They all walked out of the woods one after another, like a little kid, followed in a couple of minutes by a dog, followed by a parent, followed by another parent. All like 2 or 3 minute intervals, never meeting, never, just doing bizarre stuff. The man actually even growled at my friend when he walked by. I'm like, gave him a growl. And the female, as she walked by, she had that undeniable floral scent that he smelt with his female that he knows and that I know. And so she walked by and she gave him that, a big hit of that smell, of that floral scent. So it was undeniable that it was her, right? And I'm not explaining it very well. It's too detailed of a story, but trust me, it was odd
stuff.
It was not odd stuff. It was proof positive to me that the shapes and the things that they can do are just limited to the breadth of their imagination. Basically, they just change their shape with their thoughts, with energy, right? Or
there's an encounter that happened here just down the street from my house, probably about 100 years ago, and it's a story about a man who was hunting, and he shot at what he thought was a bear coming out of a hole in the tree. He's seen the black hair, and it was a Caucasian boy, actually, with long dark hair, and the kid couldn't speak. He was just like mumbling like gibberish. He couldn't understand the kid, right? And he's trying to help the kid. The kid's screaming, and 2 female Sasquatches come from the bush line. Like, he could hear him coming, and they came and started. One of them was apparently whipping the ground, walking in circles around the child with like what was to be a snake skin or some kind of cord. And the other Sasquatch was speaking to the man who shot the boy. And it was said that the Sasquatch were speaking some of the Douglas fir tribe's language from like North Harrison Lake, like up in the north there, lake.
Yeah.
So I just think like the Sasquatch came in and saved this kid and picked him up and took him away, right? Like this was their kid.
Yeah.
It was their kid, or at least in the story, right? This encounter that I heard about. I just think like I've heard other stories too where Sasquatch have had people out there with them.
Oh yeah.
Living with them. So I wonder if there's anything like that.
I just wanted to add a note and a success story, because that kid is none other than Michael H. Adams. Today. Look how far he's come. Look how far he's come. He's almost go.
Yeah, there it is. It's perfect timing, man. Perfect timing.
Well, I was a little off. I'm working on it. Just started. I was off about 30 seconds, but I get it.
This is your audition show for Pork and Beans. Come on, man.
But I know a lady. I've heard of some people that I know and trust or whatever that the Sasquatch have offered for them to come and stay with them and live with them. So
it's wild to think, man.
Yeah, that is wild to think.
There's another story that I've heard of, like the local people, Shayless people, and they talk about in the one story when one of the women went with them, and she talked about the Sasquatch had better preserved furs than even they could do. Like they had like the finest furs in their caves and stuff. Just interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're people, right?
I think they taught a lot of people stuff, a lot of native cultures, and I believe they taught a lot of it to the native people at one point in time.
Absolutely. They're called, what they believe in, and as far as the earth and respecting nature and the connection of everything is very much like the indigenous, a lot of the indigenous beliefs. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if you've heard this or whatever, but in Canada or whatever, a lot of the indigenous people, they just call them big Indians.
I've heard stuff like that before.
Just another big people or whatever, or
yep, big brother.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's a
Little
sense of
smile.
humor.
Mysterious wins. A pictorial number 3.
Yeah.
That's funny, eh? Little smile they give you.
Yeah. There's Fortean. There's his 4.
It's so wild too, because you just get the same one all over the place, man. They just keep doing it over and over
Yeah.
again.
There's another 4A.
Yep.
Yeah, this is good. Let's go through this for a while. This is actually good. There's one under the water.
That's cool.
Yeah, check that out.
Is that actually
Looks like
that's
a
water,
4.
right? Flowing water?
Yeah, it's under a few inches of water. That actually looks like a 4XA kind of thing too.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, is there a
There's some
Y in
stuff
it?
going on there.
Maybe not.
It's hard for
A
me to
what?
see exactly if there was a Y in there. So what do we got there? We got an A, we got an X, we got I see a big A, an X. There's 2 X's.
Yeah.
What is this one that goes across like that? Is it making something else in there?
The
The curved stick that crosses the
vertical
screen.
one. No, vertical is up and down. You mean the horizontal one? The big one?
Yeah. That's what I meant.
You know, sometimes I call that if it depends on where it's placed in a glyph, an arch of protection, like it's a protection symbol. So it could be that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's just another neat one. Just
Another
let it
common.
play a little bit.
It's another common one you see quite often, eh?
Oh yeah.
That one. I mean, you see them all quite often. They're all wild how they just keep bringing.
Now there's one that was left at that gathering where I got my 3rd rock. The lady who gave me my 3rd rock saw this glyph just prior, and she said, "I want to show you this." And this is actually a drawing representing the gathering. The guy who saw this, when she showed it to him, said, "That's my house. That's my floor plan." And you can see an A in there. You know, I mean, they're drawing the gathering that happened, because I guess it was important to them for some reason. I guess because I was getting my 3rd rock, and because there were just people of like mind gathered and talking about positive stuff, right?
Yeah. Fish. Double fish?
There's like a tent glyph, yeah, and there's the fish. Yeah. See, they use the rocks in there too. See the little A there too, like little intricate stuff.
That's so cool, man.
That one that one I always thought was like a direction thing, and the rocks I see represent like maybe 5 members, and that's where they're headed.
I can see what you're saying there for sure. I understand that. And there's another one of these, like, is there a meaning for you for that L kind of glyph they're leaving? It looks like an L.
You know what? No.
I just seen it in another picture.
I don't know.
Right
I don't know the meaning for the mole. I'm lazy, right?
I'm just seeing
I came up with a meaning for the Y, and then all of a sudden they just started doing all this amazing stuff that showed me they already knew what it meant years before I did. That I would, but
the meanings are still coming, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't go out and try to figure out what each one means.
Yeah,
I know, you know, like about a dozen different ones or whatever, and you know, we communicate back and forth with those meanings. But if I started thinking, I think this is going to mean this, like that L or whatever that you're talking about, and I really put a meaning to it, I predict that
you made it. The meaning happen. You know, like you make it happen.
Yeah,
that way.
I predict that they will start that they would have already communicated with me according to that. There's one that they left by my house. There's little buds open triangle. That's the kind of stuff, right? You know, they'll leave you a little message at the house. Hey, we're here.
Yep.
There's the Y open triangle. Man, Sasquatch connected, and
Fish.
the fish glyph is my wife and I connected. So man and Sasquatch are connected. Susan and I are connected. We're all connected, and you know, I've seen literally hundreds, if not, well, hundreds upon hundreds of these. That particular glyph. another
It's just
interesting
I'm showing they like acknowledge you guys or know your guys' love, I guess, or
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
no.
they're giving they give me messages according to how they see our relationship. They were giving us like houses, and they would have one wall wouldn't be quite up, and it would say your relationship is not quite solid. Another one that would be more solid. So they would give us an update on how they saw our relationship because, as you know, they play Cupid, right?
Yeah.
This was left at one of
Definitely
my
they
gatherings.
do.
This was left at one of my gatherings for the lady that came up. Barb Shoop, and they actually left. She actually had a sighting just after we saw that glyph. Okay, here's that looks like a house or like a house kind of thing. The man Sasquatch connected. There's another like a tent glyph.
It's like an X in there too. A little.
Yeah.
Definitely cool, man. Cool little thing.
Look at that thing.
Yeah. So it's just like a
Circle of connection.
A circle, and there's some kind of X glyph, or it looks like a cross or something.
Yeah.
On the ground.
Yeah.
Circle of connection, man. It's all about it. You know, it's about coming full circle with Sasquatch, man, because they literally lead you. They let us live our life and have these experiences or make our choices whichever way we want to go. But it's important to find yourself again and, make it full circle. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
I've seen that one before.
Yeah.
I love our forests where we live, man. I love our areas where we're from. Like these forests are so amazing, man.
Yep. See, that's why I don't monetize, because I had some really good music on there too, like some electric light orchestra stuff or whatever. And once you put that stuff on there, you can't make any money.
Yeah, they do a thing on there, right? Like I had a couple songs on my thing where they give me it's not a strike, but it's like they copyright it.
Yeah.
But some of them actually allow you to make some money on them, but it's just like you don't make money. You make a couple pennies here and there. Exactly. There's not much to make. It's not worth it.
Hey, can we move on to some of the pictures? There's some pretty cool stories associated with.
We went through all the pictures you gave me.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. You didn't give me anything new. We actually went through most of the ones we did. I think if we try, I could go through it and see if there's.
What? Are you sure?
Let's see.
I sent you all kinds of other pictures.
Wait a minute. Forgive me. I think that we have you gave me 88 pictures. Sent you. See, where will we be at all this? It's a lot of pictures.
Because here's where the pay dirt comes in, I think. No?
The pay dirt. You ever go hunting for gold?
I know I sent you more. What's that?
You ever go out there looking for gold in your day?
No.
Well, you
gold panning?
I swear to God, we went through the ones that you already.
Yeah, we went through this. Did we go through that? I don't think we went through this.
I don't think I've seen that one.
We don't think we did this one. This is where we stopped.
Cool.
This must be where we stopped.
Wait a minute. Did we do the one in this? We did the one in the.
No, we did that.
In the sand. Okay. Go to the last one. Okay, we did that one, right? That's the XA, and that's when I saw R.E. for the.
So this is where we're at. So,
this is new.
Yeah,
this is new.
This one is just like we were driving in and we were having an important gathering, and we drove in and we noticed all this web, like all this web of connection kind of thing. And a couple hours later, we drove out and it was all gone.
Oh, really?
They were all gone.
They removed it. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy, man. I mean, that's just how they show you, man. They're always around. If you can see.
Well, the figure 8 is like, the figure 8 has
like the infinity.
Yeah, and then infinity symbol, and then the pi is another one that they leave a lot. So they left the infinity and the pi in this one, and this was way up in the boonies. So like this is just like a human shoelace or material or whatever, but
Yeah.
they'll just use whatever is available, right? I've got another one where they're using some kind of like a wire or something. But
So was that close to the
that's
trail, or was it somewhere far from a trail? I mean,
you can find them
remember?
anywhere. I found them way up in the mountains, like where nobody is. I can't remember exactly where this particular one was, but I have no doubt that they left it. I've got zero doubt. Here's a cool one. You see, now we're getting into some stories here. And see where you came from a boy who left the woods screaming and a wild man brought up in the
Thank goodness we got here. All right. I'm still delayed on it. I'm sorry, but
okay. So this is a very cool story. So I was camping with a young friend of mine, kind of like a mentor kind of guy, and I remember going out with, or I was kind of his mentor, I should say, or just like we just share knowledge, right? Not like any big title or anything, but just sharing knowledge and that kind of thing.
Friendship, man. Friendship.
Yeah. So once again, we see the 4. That is the symbol for Fortean. That's one of the Sasquatch people I know. So we were camping. We're walking back at the end of the trip. And as we're walking along the forest trail, about 3/4 of the way across the trail, which was probably maybe 12 to 15 feet across, at about the 8 foot mark or 9 or whatever, just before whatever was walking across got to the other side, it materialized out of thin air. So I saw a Sasquatch materialize right out of thin air, fully materialized, and then just walk off the trail. Now my friend was there too. And I said, "You see that Sasquatch?" And he said, "Sasquatch? You mean that little dog?" He saw a little like a little Toto type of dog, like a little terrier or whatever, because the Sasquatch did not want him to see them in their true form. I was a little further along my trail or whatever, or they gifted me with like a real sighting of what they look like. They showed him a little dog. Exactly the same thing happened, but I saw the Sasquatch, he saw the dog. And needless to say, we were way back in the boonies. There were no other people around. There was no dog. Plus the fact that it walked off the trail just yards ahead of us. So we ran up there and we looked up. And you know what the forest canopy is like here. You can kind of see if something was moving around up there, right? There was no dog, there was no Sasquatch, there was nothing. So whatever it was, well, I know what it was. It just materialized out of thin air and went up the slope. And he saw a little dog, like I said. So on the way back, I decided let's stop off at the place where we hold the O.R.D and family gathering every year and just kind of top off at just a wonderful trip. And so we're walking along and it's dark out, but it's one of those nights where the moon is out and you can kind of see, so you don't need the flashlight too much, but I had a headlamp anyway, like on my head.
Yeah.
And one of those swivel things, and it just happened to be pointed down to the ground. So I'm walking along and we're just leaving this area. And a thought came to my head, except it's thought placement. This is how they work sometimes. It said, and the thought was, I wonder if they left me a glyph. And as soon as I had that thought, I turned the headlamp on and it was pointed right down to the ground and right directly, that headlamp, right when it went on, this is like the picture right then of Fortean. That's his signature. I wonder if they left a glyph. Headlamp on, there it is. And he was telling us that was me who walked across the trail that you saw. That was me who was with you all through the 3 or 4 days that you were camping, because there was a lot of other stuff that was going on. So it was his, he verified that with this glyph. And you know, that thing where I wonder if, and then the answer is right there, is so common for me. I don't know if it happens with a lot of people. I assume it does. Maybe people don't recognize it for what it is sometimes. I think sometimes we're doing it and we don't recognize it. But it's really, really evident with me in part of their lessons. Like, it's like question, immediate answer. And it speaks to the time thing, right? You know, they've already got it set up even before I have the thought. They've already got it set up. You know, they already know where I'm going before I go there. They already know what I'm going to think or whatever before I do. And thank God that they're not intrusive and whatever, right? Because if they were, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted there for some reason. I don't know how that happened. Just think about what the Sasquatch actually know about us. You know, everything. There's no hiding anything from them. You can't. They know who you are.
Michael had Mr. Beans had an experience, and it speaks to what I know too. And I mean, from my experience, that this is absolutely how it is. Remember how he was saying that there are gurus and stuff, and really, you know, like fully enlightened men or whatever that can look at you and know everything about your life from birth to death just by looking at you. And that's what the Sasquatch have, that ability. You know, that's why they can read us. That's why they know who they want to work with. That's why they know, you know, that's why they have that advantage in their teaching, because they you know,
they're on that guru level. You know, that
it's almost like they can just
monk level.
Yeah, like they can freeze frame things and just set up a bunch of stuff for you to find and whatever, and then okay, let's set this up, and la di da di da, you walk up to it and it's instantaneous, and it's like it's magic, right?
Mm-hmm. Very cool, man. That's a cool story. I love that because like I don't. I've said it before where I'll just be doing my thing and I'll be dropping some truth about Sasquatch or speaking my mind about certain something, and boom, I'll be standing right on top of one. Just look down and they're there. And it's kind of a similar way that they are working with you, right?
Absolutely. Let's move on there, Mr. O.R.D.
That was perfect timing.
Okay. This is beautiful. This is like, they're always talking about my wife's and my relationship, because it took us 10 years to actually get married and be together, because she's from the States, and you know, the immigration thing, the jibby jabby dispute where we weren't going to get kind of thing that resolved itself. And they would leave us all kinds of glyphs and messages talking about how they viewed our relationship, or drawing a little picture of it. And like sometimes they would have these houses and whatever, and one wall would be down, and that's because the relationship needed some work. Next time I would go and it would be a complete house, or you know, and it just communication back and forth. Now this is a glyph that they left of just us in our house. And you can even see us on our beds with the two little leaves on the bark. I mean, can you see that? Look at the detail in that, man. That's the kind of thoughtful stuff that they do. Look at the little detail in that stuff.
No, it's hard for me to see, but the leaves, are they the green things there? I'm having a hard time seeing it. Maybe zoom in.
Yeah, and they're laying on the right part, and they're laying on two little pieces of like beds, bark.
That's cool, for sure.
There's my wife and I on our bed, yeah.
Now, do you look at
the little bundles of sticks and stuff, and it's just like so thoughtful, yeah.
Now, see the other leaf there? That other leaf that Michael was just circling, that one?
That's Michael trying to get in. We've got
just for that.
Got the doors barricaded.
Do you think that represents anything, like maybe like pet or something in your family, like in your home?
Absolutely it does, but I don't think, well, I'm not sure if my little dog was still with us at that time. I don't think so. But everything, I mean, you know, they're very big on details. Everything would probably have some meaning to them, you know, whether it's just representing something that they see, or it's got some deeper meaning, or both, right?
Yeah.
That one's pretty cool.
Okay.
I like that.
We can move on.
Next.
Now here's one of those ones that was found way up in the mountains. Not another soul around anywhere close by, and we saw a huge trackway up there that day too. That I don't know if I included a picture, but I mean, look at this, man. This is way up in the mountains, not a soul around, no footprints around it, because they don't have to leave. And you look at what that is. That's the fish glyph with the AX. I mean, that's a personal message way up in the mountains for me that they knew I would find. You know, friendship welcome from the clan of O.R.D. Brian and Susan are connected, and it's just beautiful stuff, man.
So awesome that they send you this messages everywhere you go, man.
Everywhere,
and they speak to us everywhere we go. We just, you know, the most of the time, our brains are working and thinking about so much other stuff going on in our everyday life that we don't see a lot of the stuff happening. But they probably show us so much and try to show us so much more, you know, that we don't see and don't pick up, right?
My other point on this is that, like I said, they'll use anything, like that's some kind of plastic covered wire or something, but whatever.
Is that what this is? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that they will make glyphs out of anything. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, it's, you know, sticks are the most common thing, but they'll use rocks. They'll use ferns. They'll use anything, right?
Yeah.
Somebody asked if I ever took any sticks home. Yeah, actually, we've got some pictures coming up, and I will discuss that I did take home. That was really, really quite amazing. So if you want to move on.
Slide to the left.
Now, one of the females, just before she gave birth, she let this glyph telling me she was pregnant. Does that not look like a pregnant person?
Yeah, I see the rock is the belly, I would assume, and maybe the
head and
child in there.
Oh no.
That's a big damn kid, boy.
That's a big damn kid.
I think so.
That's a big kid.
Oh,
but
yeah.
isn't that creative? I mean, that's creative, man. It just blows my mind, some of the stuff they do.
It is.
Anyway, we can move on.
Next.
Just another stick man they left for me in the middle of a trail. Like, we see you, you know, like.
Yeah.
Hey,
do you think that represents you?
Yeah, because I came upon it. I do think it represents me. Yeah.
Very cool, man. I like these little stick dudes, man.
Little stick guys, yeah. Move on, Mr. O.R.D. Here's the one of the hiking man.
Yeah, I like this one. It's cool, man.
Now there's a few reasons. I mean, and they have a lot of their telltale signs in there that I know. You see the little piece of wood leaned up against the main part of the body.
Mm-hmm.
You see that, Mr. O.R.D?
I see, sir.
And then on you know, on the legs or whatever, like the longer leg, it's partially snapped or maybe fully snapped, but whatever. That's another. There's just things there. Yeah, that kind of stuff is just pure. It's just full of clues that they left it. Yeah, actually, just below where that piece is leaning up against it is partially snapped. You see that? Just in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
No, further up. The partially snapped. That, and then the stick leaning up there is another sign. So they gave me all kinds of clues as to who left it. And you know, it's just paying attention, right? But that just represents me hiking.
Mm-hmm. They see you. They walk with you. They're there. They understand. Yeah. They see it all, man. Very cool. Ding! I beat him to it.
Okay, well, the guy asked if I ever take anything home. Well, yes, I did take this home. Now, I have a gathering every year. And see, like, they use wire and everything here, but don't be thrown off. They'll use string and structures and whatever, too. They'll use whatever they can get their hands on. But I had a gathering, and there were on the second day in, one of the ladies saw this on the tree, and this is a really secluded place, so nobody gets in there. It's a private area where I host this.
Yeah.
And the Sasquatch left this representing the people that attended the gathering. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's one underneath the acorns. The acorns represent them. So that is them showing us that we're connected and that these people are at the gathering. So
It's very cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, and actually, right below this, there was, and I didn't get this picture because I kind of got it out of sequence, and I said I'm not going to put it back in now. But right below this too was an AX glyph made from a Y stick too, that was right below this, just as further proof that they left it. So this represents their interpretation of us at the gathering, and that they honor it because it's their gathering, and I'm getting the energy too when I'm saying this. So let's go to the next picture. Beautiful. So on the day before we left, this lady, her name is actually Christine McDonald. She was just pulled to go to this area and check on that glyph that I just showed you one more time. And it wasn't a coincidence. You recognize it for what it is. And this was also a day too when I was talking to her when the raven was flying right overhead, like answering questions, like I wonder if it's like and they were answering us like immediately kind of thing. It was magical. All this magical stuff was going on. So anyway, so she's drawn over there because she wanted to see that little ladder glyph again. So she went over there and she saw this right beside it. And this one has got 4 extra sticks, and they're all bundled together tightly. The first glyph represented the 8 people that were there initially. This glyph represents the 13 or so that ended up being there in totality. And the first glyph represents connection. This glyph represents a tight bond. You notice that they're all tightly bond. The connection is stronger. This is everybody together. And that's undeniable to me.
No,
so
I've seen your pictures, like some of the ones that we've gone through. I don't think we've seen the one I'm thinking about right now yet, but I found, and we're talking about structures and things they use and make. Because there's this I call it a shrine that we found. It's off of a trail, but it's probably about 2 or 3 kilometers up the trail, up the hill, like up into the mountain. All these little trinkets have been left behind on this shrine, and they literally used like these arrows from way down below at the beach, and these arrows had disappeared years ago, and all of a sudden they showed up at the shrine.
Yeah,
and it's like, I'm telling you, no kids grabbing this stuff and bringing it up there. Nobody's doing this. I seen the arrows there years ago, and they disappeared, and then they just showed up at the shrine. And it's, they'll gather anything and
yeah, but that gave you validation seeing that.
Oh, yeah.
And believe me, they know that. They have that. They put that together. That's why it happened.
The thing too, that reminded me of the picture that reminded me of the areas, because we also found these little mini houses. Okay, they're made out of little like sticks and moss and stuff, but they're only like this big, and they're up at the base of the tree, and they literally look like a little fairy house. Yeah, literally, and this is the exact same spot where we've seen the Sasquatch, and we tracked his tracks going right by the shrine. And I just go, it's just so cool to see. You literally, you captured some stuff on photos that are like the same thing that we're getting, man. Exactly the same thing, basically.
Can I skip out for a quick washroom break?
Of course.
And you guys could talk about me while I'm gone.
He's the best. We love Brian. Well, maybe we should take an intermission.
So should we betray Brian now? Let's talk about how he's back. What do we say?
Never.
You catch up with the comments there?
Hey, I think I could use a wash and break myself.
Well, let's take a break, and I'm going to play some of my music.
Guys, we'll be back in a minute.
Let's play. I want to play the Karma Vulture. I like that. Here we go. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen.
Who was that? Who was that band?
That's Vulture. Let's see, Karma Vulture.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. It's a great band.
Well, I got my new Huggies on, so I should be good for another couple hours.
Good. Glad to see the king is comfortable.
Okay, well, that actually didn't. No, I'm not actually wearing Huggies, but you didn't give me the satisfaction of saying, really? And like, you want people
Well,
to think
wear
I'm
so
wearing them.
clothes.
So here's another one there. That's
Yeah.
another A is sent to you.
Once again, like, this is a perfect example, and look how detailed that is, man. That's absolutely beautiful.
Mhm.
So my wife and I are on a hike, and we're in an area that's not, home to my, my clan. Although, when you really think about it, home is just a thought away, right? Like, that's how vast these people are. But it's not their terrestrial area, so to speak. And I remember her. I remember distinctly. She's sick, and I wonder if the Sasquatch are here. And she literally walked no more than, as a matter of fact, it might have been right below her feet. But anyway, within seconds of her saying that appeared. Boom. Like, that's what's happening here, like. And we're going to get into hopefully way more. I mean, we may have to do a show 6 or something. I don't know, but there's, I mean, I don't want to just get, talk specifically about the glyphs, but there's always lessons in every kind of thing, right? And this just shows you that they're right on the pulse of things, like they know what you're thinking. They can plan and assist your journey, although they can't interfere. That's free will, and and we talked about that. But they can, they can help you, and they have the benefit of, like, it's like they can set up a little breadcrumb trail of stuff, like almost as if you're just frozen, and then they'll go and set a trail up, and then you'll walk into it, kind of thing. Or
yeah, I could see them being able to do that kind of stuff, like with the no time and no space or whatever we talk about there. Like, they could just literally lay it out in front of you without you in a millisecond, even lesser than that, just a flash, man, and it's there.
Yeah, and I know that is possible. And I mean, this stuff is like, like we're talking like, stuff people would consider way out there, whatever. This is just like normal conversation for me, because I live this and these lessons every day, and all these knowings and whatever. We'll get into the Love Zap and whatever, but all these knowings or whatever are sometimes instant, but they're also accumulative, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a lady that I know, and I 100% believe this because I've kind of seen it myself, not in that particular way, but just speaks to what they do when they set things up and you're not conscious of it. This was a lady actually that I told you that they offered for her to go and live with them.
Oh, wow.
That's how close a relationship she has with them. And she was with them one time, and I think she was at a concert or something, and they were with her in spirit, and they freeze framed everything, right? Everybody was like, in Star Trek or whatever, where they're all like frozen, and Kirk and all of them are all walking around them or whatever, and they're interacting, and they could have walked and put something in front of this person or that person or anything, and they would not have known it. I mean, they would not have missed the time. And then it was just like, then they were back like nothing happened, right? And I mean, I've been in Sasquatch country or whatever, where I walked into an area and I know I was missing time. There was just no way that it took that long, and then took a quarter of the way, time coming out, and just like obvious clues of that. And
I've experienced
other weird stuff, like where they're assisting me on a hike, where they're giving me energy, and where I'm walking up a hill and it looks like I'm walking downhill, and that's how effortless it is. That kind of stuff. And we got some pictures talking about that coming up. And I'm glad we found them, Michael H. Adams.
Yes, sir.
No, I've experienced the exact same thing out there
Is the next
on our
one?
hikes. Like it would take us 2 hours to walk around and do in there, and it would literally take us half hour to walk out. Like it's happened many times. Many times it's happened, and we've literally said it to each other on the hike. Like, what the frick, man? That was weird.
Yeah.
You know, like. So I
I
mean,
know.
I don't know what they're trying to do, or if there's a lesson there in that, or if they're just trying to show us that time doesn't exist, or what.
Well, that's part of it. That's part of it. It's that lesson for sure. But it could, personal to you too. It could.
Timing was bad. Sorry, guys.
It could mean something for somebody that doesn't mean for somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And be equally true for both. That's just a cool glove.
Yeah. What do we got in here? We got the 4. We got is there a 4 and an A there? What do you think that is? I mean,
I don't know, man. I just look at that and I just say that's just artwork, man. That's just like incredible.
It definitely is artwork. That's cool as shit.
But you look at this showing up all over the world for me anyway. I don't go all over the world, but everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And and then people say, and I don't care, at this point I really don't care to make it. I don't care, couldn't care less. But just to point out that when people say who don't look at stuff closely, say, I just felt like that. The wind blew it like that. The wind did not blow that like that.
No.
That is not
it's been placed there.
But unless the wind had consciousness or whatever and was working through the universe, which I wouldn't discount with this journey, but whatever.
Right.
It's not just a random thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Ding. This ding thing is new. This ding thing is new, but
now listen, my friends. Once again, I apologize because this is kind of out of place. But do you remember last show I was talking about the 1 walks with 4 glyph?
Yep, I know that. I know that story.
The rocks. The 1 rock was me. The one in the middle, the Sasquatch foot, was walks, and then the 4 in the circle. Yep. Well, another week, the week after that, I came upon this in another different area, but the same clan. Now look on the bench there. See the 4 rocks?
Yep.
Go to the other end. There's the 1. But what caught my attention, 1, 4. But what caught my attention was, but the walks isn't there. What caught my attention was, I'm driving by and I seen the stick leaning up against the picnic table, which is, they lean sticks up everywhere. Sometimes people leave walking sticks. Sometimes you just know it's them.
Yeah.
And so I was drawn to this stick. This is about a week after I found the initial 1 walks with 4 glyph. I was drawn to this stick, and I walked over there and I said, "Oh, there's my 1 rock, and there's the 4 in the circle, which is important. 4 circle connection." And I said, "But where's the walks?" And then I said, "Oh, there it is. It's the walking stick." Right? So they left me the same message about a week later in a different area with exactly the same message, but they swapped out the heart rock for the walking stick.
What's that right there?
What?
Drum.
That.
Oh, that's my drum. That's my drum. I like to go out and drum and sing and.
No, it's. I mean, obviously, I can't say it's Sasquatch or not, but I've seen this where literally the exact same thing so many times with a stick leaning up against there like that, or it could be a picnic table or a stump. But I mean, I've seen it on picnic tables just like this out in Chehalis lots. And I go, is that Sasquatch is trying to be their simple little message to people? Like, we're here. Is that what's going on? Like, because
it could be. It could be somebody's using it for a fire stick.
Yeah.
It could be somebody's using it for a walking stick, although this is too spindly, and a lot of them are too spindly. So they're not walking sticks. Another thing I think is that if there's 2 or 3 sticks or whatever leaned up against a tree, they will represent like 3 individuals that were there. And the size will represent the size of the individuals too. So
I can see that. There's so many.
Is there anything going on?
I mean, but what I'm saying, guys, is you can see what's going on here. This is like a week. Like you can see how the communication is. You know, they're speaking to me, right? Like, and I mean,
in a simple way.
It's pretty obvious. I mean, you know, like you guys can see exactly what's going on.
What about all this stuff on the ground? Did you ever notice that?
Will you get off?
What?
I love you, Michael.
Come on, Michael.
What's all these leaves and twigs here?
It's called asphalt and dirt and twigs and.
So there we got another one. That's a cool one too.
Earth. Yeah, that was carved right out of a big old fallen cedar. That's like, look at the XA there, and you notice you see where the
there's the
horizontal kind of piece is. It's kind of horizontal at the 2 o'clock angle.
Yep.
Look how it's propped up. You see that little piece that's peeled away? It's just It's just.
Oh wow, that's propped on something, eh?
Yeah, it's
Trippy.
Just holding that cross piece up.
It's funny because this is the exact same kind of tree. These old cedars like this. The same
There he goes.
exact same big stump, kind of like this, but it wasn't as decayed. That the Sasquatch gifted us the music out of. You know, these old big cedar trees, man. I could hear the music coming right out of it.
So, you know, you'll find their signs in like little tiny glyphs. You'll find them in humongous stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Diesel would know. He'd be able to find all sorts of entities in that thing. Yes,
all sorts of entities in that thing. Yes, the faces.
Well, they use it.
Shall we move on?
Live off the elements.
There's our smiley face. Just their sense of humor. Just left at the foot of a trail, you know, and it's just like, hey, be happy we're here with you today. That's how I take it, you know. Like,
just remember.
Yeah,
for sure. I like that, man.
Move on there, my friend.
Ding.
Saya Canahan.
There's a very, very powerful lesson in this, gentleman. So,
Michael should like this picture.
My wife and I were out. There was actually about 8 pictures in the sequence, but I skipped the first year, so I'll just explain it. My wife and I were out, and we were hearing, you know, like all these accounts from a gathering that some of my friends had just went to about orbs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we went to this place out by DeRoche.
Mm-hmm.
Because a friend told me that there was a Sasquatch elder out there or whatever that he had contacted in this exact spot. And so I thought, okay, well, we'll go out there. So anyway, so all of a sudden the wife got this thought in her head. Let me get my picture out and see if any orbs show up. Well, experience tells me that this thought was not just a thought. It was one of those, hey, we'll give you this thought so that we can show you something kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So she took about a series of about 10 pictures or something. What are you doing, my friend?
He's just looking at the orbs.
Inspecting. Is it okay?
He loves it. He loves it.
He loves it.
He does.
Okay.
I guarantee it.
He loves it.
Okay, so this is about the third picture in the sequence.
Okay.
The first picture is completely black.
Sure.
Well, there's nothing there.
Yeah. No orbs.
Second,
just dirt.
No, nothing. Just like the dirt and the dark. There's not nothing there. Absolutely not a thing. Second picture, and these are all taken within like, you know, seconds of each other. Second picture, you start to see a few orbs coming in. This is the third picture, okay? This is the third picture.
Yep.
Now they're really coming in. So let's go on to the next picture.
There we go. There it comes.
So then that whatever was coming in formed into this. And can you see the face there, and the trident and whatever? And look at that energy.
Oh, there's the trident.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There's
look
the
at that energy, man. I mean, this being started coming in, forming out of the orb, right?
Like there was no fire or smoke there or anything. Eh? Like that, it almost has that smoky look. You know what I mean? That's so cool,
No, there was
man.
no.
That's fucking
awesome.
awesome.
You saw the picture of O.R.D coming in the smoke, right?
Yep.
That's how they can do that. Yeah. So that just appeared.
Really cool.
This is about the fourth or fifth picture. Okay. So let's go on. You can examine, I promise you can look at these all later, my friend. all day long. You can play.
I've captured pictures. I've captured pictures like that before where there's thousands of
look at how look at how they've almost all cleared out. Now that being is walking off, exit stage left.
Mm-hmm. It's blue.
Make it go down a little
I like
bit.
this picture. This is a really good picture.
So
I like how it's totally changed now, man. Totally changed.
I love it, except
the energy. Yeah, look at the face in there. Trippy.
well, I just see it walking off. I don't see it. Anyway.
I see what you're saying. I totally get it.
Whatever it is walking off. Okay, so let's go to the next picture.
No. Is this what you're talking about, the walking off and the?
It's like
just
it's
looks like
shoulder.
It almost looks like where you are there. Like it just looks like it's
side profile walking off to the left. For sure.
Almost looks like a leg or something. Yeah. Anyway.
That reminds me almost of like one of your glyphs right there.
And there's the fire pit. See, so there was no fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's bring this down so we can keep the story coherent, and you can do your investigations at future date. Okay,
right.
So this is the next picture. Look at that bean. Look at that face looking at my wife.
Yeah.
That's the entity. That's the Sasquatch bean. It was a female, powerful female, and she's just there smiling and looking at my wife.
That's so cool, man.
Do you see that?
No, totally. Two big eyes. You can see the nose. You got the mouth. It's huge. You can't not see that, you know?
Okay, now the next picture.
So no, hold on a second. You come down. Calm down, sire. Us peasants can need to catch up with you. Now come on.
Us peasants.
Is this an eye right here? Is this an eye right here you're saying? Is this the nose?
Yeah, I see a face.
Yes.
But you also feel an energy and a benevolence about it. It's just a kindness there's just, I can feel it.
Well, if you could help everyone else to see what you guys are seeing. That's all.
Yep. Oh, for sure. I see it 100%. Very cool, man. Very cool.
So about a second after that, let's go next picture.
And of course it's gone.
Nothing.
Yep.
So here's the lesson that was given to me with that. And this is a very powerful lesson. Like there's always lessons in all these experiences. So, I found with R.E., like when I'm connecting with her, I'm talking about him on the show, for instance, he can be with me. He can be with you if he so chooses. He can be with 5 or 6 different, and I'm getting the energy right now, different people at the same time. He can be with us all at the same time. That's how they can connect 3 or 4 people and bring them into a situation where something profound happens and everybody learns a lesson from it, right?
Oh yeah.
But
for sure.
the lesson in this is when we saw all those orbs coming in, they all came in and they all formed basically into that one being.
Mm-hmm.
So this omnipotent being, his consciousness was coming in from all different points of consciousness, from here, there, everywhere. He was, and forming into this one being.
Very cool, man. I think
filmed that. I filmed
It's like
this fall.
But you saw it, and now you could see it from picture to picture, right?
For those that are interested, on my YouTube channel, you can go back and the stuff I posted last fall about this. Right, and several videos about that. Me filming the same thing. So
I've filmed like
ectomist and ectoplasma.
When did you do it?
Last fall. I did several videos about it.
Thank God I did it before you. Okay.
Hey, well, I took a picture like that 20 years ago, guys. So take that.
Yeah.
And I really did.
Where's the proof?
That's right. There you go.
Okay,
I remember taking a picture.
Oh, I forgot.
Out at Harrison. I was out at Harrison Lake.
Sorry about this.
I was out at Harrison Lake and I took a picture, and there was thousands of orbs just like that, and they were coming from everywhere.
You know, this.
I mean, thousands.
Has to have
thousands.
Okay. So this.
I'll just make the face.
This speaks to a couple things, right? I saw this little leaf with a little face on it, and I do associate it with that they did it, and I'll tell you why. Because I have a pretty good friendship with a guy, this Kevin Royce guy, and they confirm a lot of our stuff. Like, he was the guy who had the Sasquatch family walk by him with that floral scent or whatever. Like, that was big time confirmation of the human, shape shifting thing for me, like proof. So we kind of like, they kind of work with us, and they'll show me something, and then they'll show him something that'll just, talk about how everything is connected and how they're listening and how they're working through us all. So this was mine. Okay. I found this. I showed this picture to Kevin, and shortly after, he was out in the woods and he saw this one, the next one.
Next one?
Yeah, the next picture. You know what? Oh no, you got him on a sequence, man. What?
That is not my fault. That is JT's fault.
What's it my fault?
I'm not taking the responsibility, Matt.
All right, I take the blame this time.
I feel to throw you on the bus on this one, man. You're the one that said me.
Well, I gotta go. No, I'm
just what was the next picture, Brian, if you remember?
Okay.
The next picture.
Oh, come on, JT. I'm telling you, you can't take responsibility for it.
The next picture was
I just give you a hard time, JT. You did.
Almost that they left for him with the eyes and the mouth, whatever, cut out.
Is this it? Is this what we want?
Well, I mean, eventually we might, but.
So okay, let me ask you something here.
Do I have to go back? I thought we just did a smiley one like that.
I want to know now, because I couldn't hear over the dings and stuff. Now,
come on! Don't blame my dings. Don't blame my dings.
With the leaf picture that we just seen, what was the picture you were trying to show us after that? Like what?
It was another leaf that they left. It was another leaf that they left for Kevin that looked practically identical to what I saw. So it just talks about how they're paying attention.
You put me under pressure. I got to find this now.
Well, maybe I didn't. I was pretty sure I had sent it.
Was it in the same? Were you guys out together and like in the same area, or is this different areas?
No. I'm in British Columbia. He was in Oregon.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Yes.
And we found them like really, really close together, and it was obvious that what was going on. Like, they're just showing us that time, space, and distance doesn't mean anything to them. They can be with us wherever we are, and they can connect with us wherever we are. So. You don't have to. You don't have to go into the woods.
There's a lot of duplicates, so please forgive.
Okay, that's fine.
So this is not it, but this is.
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Just trust me that the other one looks almost identical to it, and there's just no way that they weren't, connected, right?
Yeah. Over all that distance, I mean, it's their way of confirming it with both of you guys. You and
absolutely, that's
Kevin, right? That's his name, Kevin.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Go back to the last picture, actually. Okay, so this kind of stuff is going on all the time. Like this just happened like a week ago. They're constantly communicating with me. And here you can see the Y stick. You can see the A. You can see a little piece of greenery that they put in it. You can see the arch of protection kind of thing. Remember I said that arch?
Yep.
There's an X there. Just a beautiful message.
I love how they do that. The multi-message glyph there, so cool.
Yeah, and like I said, that was just left, just across the road from where I live, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's something else, man. That's cool. Ding.
No, I was doing my daily affirmations because I'm kind of like asking the universe for abundance of health and wealth and stuff of that nature. And so this is another one of those, the universe is connecting to you, man. Like it's just so obvious when your vibrations are raising how everything is just all connected. So I'm at Walmart of all places, waiting for my wife to get out of Walmart, and I'm thinking this, and I'm just in the parking lot, just walking around, and I'm thinking of the universe, daily affirmations or whatever, and right there, as I'm thinking that, is this glyph right below my feet. This just happened like last week.
I love that, man. I love how they do that, man. It's so cool.
Yeah, this is Walmart parking lot. There's not another pair of sticks like this or whatever in there, and you can see how it was hand placed, obviously. I mean, even people who don't even know what, I don't want to say work, my passion, my sharing with them can see, the similarities here with what I've just shown you guys just in this.
Oh, yeah.
And then a couple of days later, the same thing happened. It might be the next picture.
Cool. Before we go there, the world famous Diesel in New Jersey asks, what are they protecting you from?
I don't know what he means. From what?
Like, do Sasquatch protect you from anything? I mean, I would just say.
Well, I've been rescued out of the woods, and there was actually a glyph because I recognize glyphs that was involved in that. Do you want to hear that story?
Yes.
Sure.
Where they literally rescued me out of the woods. So they will protect you while you're out there. There was a predator at one time when Sue and I were out there. That's an incredible story too, where we heard them coming across the creek, the Sasquatch, like a big, huge rumble, whatever, but we didn't see anything. But we knew it was protecting us because there was a big grizzly track right in front of our tent, one single track. Or it looked like a grizzly, even though they're not supposed to be down this way. It was a huge bear track. And they might just have put that there just to show us that they protect us. Because there was a lot of magic that went on with that, too, that I won't get into that story so much. But anyway, so the one where they rescued me out of the woods, I could go on for hours and hours, guys. And
we already figured that out, Brian. We already figured that.
How about this?
We're only covering. Hold on. We're only covering like little bits.
We're almost done with. We're almost done with the images. So just go ahead, share their images.
Okay, and then we'll get into their messages.
JT, unless you're worn out, JT. But if you're not.
No, but I do want to talk about.
I'm having a fun time listening to Brian and his story. So
okay, so
if it's all right with you.
So my wife used to live in Oregon, and I lived in BC, and I would work graveyard shift, 12-hour shift. Right after the shift, I would drive all the way to Oregon, which was another 8 hours. So I'd be up like for 24 hours. It's a miracle I didn't get killed, guys. Honestly.
Wow.
Because doing that like once every couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
So this was one particular day when I did that. And, I'm not like any, a young spring chicken or whatever. So it takes me a long time to recover. Like the next day, I pretty well just want to sleep and stuff when I was doing that kind of stuff. This is only just like 4 or 5 years ago. And anyway, Sue wanted to go on this big major hike the next day, and I said, okay, whatever, sure. So as soon as we got out of the car, we're out way up in the mountains in a real desolate area in Oregon. As soon as we got out of the car, I saw these glyphs on the ground. You know, we had walked maybe 100 yards, and one in particular was these two peel sticks that were like side by side, and I've seen that many times. And there were some other little glyphs there too, and I thought, excellent, our friends are here, right? So I was pretty excited about that. So we're hiking along, and then all of a sudden Sue decided she's going to start hiking up the side of this slope. I'm beat, man. I'm not. I mean, I can hike and I can bushwhack and do all that stuff still, but I wasn't going to be doing it this day. I was just too tired, and I don't hear that well, so I'm yelling up to her, "I'm not coming up there. I'm not coming up there." And I just said, "Screw it. I'm just going to go back to the vehicle, right? I'll go back to the car and wait for you." And she was yelling, just hang on, I'm coming right down, but I couldn't hear her. So anyway, I decided I'm going to go back to the car. Anyway, I'm useless with directions. I got lost, okay?
Wow.
And this is in the fall in Oregon. Nobody around, wilderness and whatever. And I'm thinking at one point, a couple hours in, because I'm wandering around for a couple hours, literally. And I'm not finding anything. I'm going up and down like mountain roads, and I'm just like not finding anything that looks familiar. And I'm thinking, okay, at some point I'm going to have to actually gather wood and start a fire because I'm going to be here for the night. I'm lost. So at one point, I walk into this little open area, and there's trails going off in three directions. And I think, okay, well, I'll pick one trail and try it. And at that point, I said, hey, guys, I need your help. I'm lost. You've got to help me get out of here. I can't. Please help me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking up this trail, and I'm just about to turn around because I don't see anything I recognize. All of a sudden, I see these two peel sticks side by side on the trail. And I say, awesome, man, I'm back. There's those peel sticks, because they were right by where the car was, right? I'm thinking, awesome. I was just about to turn around. If I hadn't seen those sticks, I would have turned around. I saw them. Well, then I walk in about another 10 yards or something, and I see Susan driving by in a vehicle just up on the road, just above, like I'm walking up the hill. And I yell out and I say, hey, stop. And I said, thank God I found you or whatever. And I got back to the car. And she said, back to the car? You're like a mile and a half away. So those peel sticks that were put there so that I would keep going and hook up with her. And here's the kicker. She was on the road, and at some point she's up there and she's being held back. Like something's holding her back. Don't go. Okay, go now. As they said, go now, she's driving by just as I'm coming up.
The timing, for us, the time, and they know when to influence.
Those glyphs kept me going. Otherwise, I would not have, probably would have been there all night. And who knows, it was going to get cold.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, they absolutely do watch out for you. I'm not recommending you go out there and do stupid stuff or whatever, but they do watch out for you.
Brambland is awesome. I just got to say that. It's right there.
Okay, so are we done the pictures? Done. Or are we done? Oh yeah, this is the other one when I was doing those affirmations that you and I were just standing there when it was right there. Actually, the car was there, but I had to go back and get my camera because I wanted to. I'd like to document this. To give people hope. I share these things to give people hope of how connected we are and how we're not, we're nobody. Like people want to say that we're nobodies. We don't have any power. That we're not connected and whatever. That's
all the power.
Bullshit. That's a bullshit lie. We are all connected, and when we realize our power, then we're not going to live in fear, right? Kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, the car pulled in as I went back to get my camera, but nevertheless, it was another affirmation or confirmation.
Definitely.
Oh, that's pretty.
Here's a
That's a
cool
good
orb
one.
picture. Now you notice that in some orb pictures, you like that is behind the leaf.
Sure
Yeah.
is.
You know, that's
Definitely is.
not a photo
No.
mishap or whatever.
That's a good picture right there, man. With the leaf in front of it, that's cool. You can't say
Yeah.
it's not an orb, man, because look at that. It's an orb. That's a cool picture, man.
Yeah.
I like that. Somebody like it's glowing so brightly, eh?
Yeah. Well, probably one of my Sasquatch friends.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I've seen so many things like that too. Like I always think back to this last October, we were doing a camp out or not camp out, fire and stuff over like at nighttime out there in Chehalis, and there was there had to be at least like 15 of these orbs that surrounded us that night, and I seen every time, and they'd be blinking on and off, and then they'd be like lower on the ground, they'd be up in the tree, they'd all around us, so like in every direction.
Awesome.
Yeah, the the local people would say that is spirits and stuff, but I don't know. I know there's obviously a connection with that with Sasquatch, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, for sure there is.
So let me tell you about my. Once again, man, the universe. I just looked up in the sky when my wife was with me, and it just happened to capture this beautiful message.
That's awesome.
And my wife is amazing. She talks to the sky, whatever the sky, like the shooting stars will go by. Like when there's something important that's on her mind, that she gets confirmation, like way too much to be coincidence. And she's a beautiful person. So yeah, that was just another confirmation that the universe is with us all the time, right? And it's all about love. So I was Sasquatchers are in cahoots with security guards.
He's talking about Walmart. That's what he's talking about, I think. Dropping a Walmart comment.
We have the last image, gentlemen. You ready?
Yeah, just something that they do. They'll etch in the sand, like they etch my wife and my initials in the sand. I thought I had that too. I thought I had that story. But anyway, that was yeah, they show you things slowly. Like there was a huge story about etching in the sand, but they showed me the year before that they did it. So that when I saw the big story that was going to unfold, and this is once again talks about time, I knew what was going on. And I don't know what this means, except I've seen that little cherry kind of strawberry kind of thing over to the left in a few glyphs. And I find it very compelling that it shows up. I think it speaks of something extraterrestrial or something. Is just my meaning, my feeling.
Mm-hmm. It's like a heart or something, almost. He called it a strawberry. It's got that shape though, for sure, right? Definitely.
Yeah. So that was all the pictures, my friend. I know I sent you more, but it's fine.
That literally is all of them. I guess including the ones that I added to it. So, believe it or not, we went over probably 120 images in the past 2 days.
Okay, so one day I was walking along with Randy Brisson and another friend, and we're all of a sudden I got hit up with this floral aroma. Beautiful floral aroma, and it's a female Sasquatch scent. And it was so strong that it burnt my nostrils. My eyes were watering and my throat was sore. Now it wasn't for Randy, so but he's very in tune. He got it a little bit. The other guy is not open to the spiritual aspect of it at all. He didn't get anything at all. And so anyway, when I told Randy about it, my experience, he just kind of smiled or whatever because he knew something beautiful was going to be happening down the road, and it was the female Sasquatch really connecting with me in a profound way. So about a month later, I'm walking down the path. All of a sudden, I heard some rustling in the bush, and I had this knowing. Knowings. You know what knowings are like. You just know stuff. It's part of the journey. I just had this knowing that Rajase, Ari's daughter, was in the bush, and all of a sudden I got hit up with this love energy, this loving energy, and I automatically, instantly knew it was like universal love, and it was like the God source or whatever. It was profound, and I just started weeping, like literally weeping, like tears falling down. I mean, it hit me so hard, and I instantly knew that we were all connected. I instantly knew there was no judgment. There was no reason for judgment. There was no need to ask any questions. It just is. It was just a profound love, and it was just like in source, being part of source or whatever, I guess. And it was an incredible, powerful download, and it kind of started me on the journey of the core truths kind of thing, and a lot of the stuff I wrote about in the book and what their message is. And it's we're controlled by fear and whatever.
Yes.
And we've been manipulated for ages and whatever, and we don't think that we have any power. I mean, we are creators. So every thought and action that we have goes out into the collective. And I got a vision from the Sasquatch of a spider's web. I've actually had holographic visions and stuff played out in front of, like, wild stuff. But anyway, this was a spider's web, and it represented the universe. And every strand on the spider's web represented an individual or whatever. So every time that spider's web was vibrated, or a thought or an action, it went out to the entire spider's web. So every thought and action affects everything, right? Do you know what I mean? That was the analogy that I got there. So
sorry, blowing my nose.
Yes, indeed, sir.
So it makes you want to be really, really responsible with your thoughts, right?
Yes.
And that there are consequences to the collective, whatever. So
Magical, magnifying.
the lie is that we're not powerful. We are powerful because we do create with our thoughts and our actions. So by keeping people separate, making people think that we're divided.
Yep.
All these wars, all these different races that we're supposed to judge, all these different things that are not based in the heart, that are creations of man, are what are stopping us from raising our vibrations and getting over, this, just the way we interact with each other. Because when I was in that love vibration and when I'm at my very best, you can't have those thoughts. You can't be like that. That is what the conscious shift is all about. It's just raising our vibrations and a change that is adopted by the collective kind of thing. So, and that's kind of just going over it in a nutshell. But I remember one time I went out in the woods and I was thinking about the jibby jabby, and maybe my wife wouldn't be able to come because of the border situation. And that was the only thing that was bothering me, only thing I was in fear of. And I went out there and I just asked them, I said, guys, I'm not myself. You take this fear away from me, because I don't want to live in that vibration. Being aware is one thing, but being in that vibration is another thing. It keeps you there. So I just asked them, and instantly, just like a light switch went off, it was gone. And it was just like a miracle. And that's the kind of beautiful stuff that can happen, right?
Yeah.
But so basically, they're saying that we're all connected, that we have power. That don't let people say, well, what can little old me do? Because that's what everybody, that's what if you want to be controlled, how do you control people? By thinking making them think they're powerless, and by keeping them divided with imaginary bullshit, right?
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
totally.
Like religion, race, all this imaginary bullshit. Why I'm different than you, and why I'm not supposed to like you.
It's like anything that takes us away from this natural state, all this for the stuff that divides us all, man. And it's all there they want us to, be that way. They don't want us to be connected. They don't want us to be, consciously ascended beings that we're supposed to be.
Yeah, and they've given me the
powers that be.
Little simple lessons or whatever, like, I mean, I'm obviously not perfect. I'm human, and we're conditioned to be judgment and all that stuff. We do it every day, right? But really, if you try to get away from that, you'll notice a huge difference in your life. I remember one time driving down the road and getting a hands-on lesson. I'm starting to think of this guy who I thought did me a disservice or whatever. And and just prior to that, I was in a really high vibration, like I was right connected in. I was feeling really, like connected. And then this thought came into my head, and I'm starting to think of this guy, and all of a sudden my vibration just plummeted. Like, because I was going into this judgment mode, and how dare he, and I just said, screw this. I stopped it right away. I said, no. I'm cutting off that thought. I'm cutting off that little guy on my shoulder saying I'm not good enough, or this guy did this, or that negative Nelly guy. I said, no, you can shut up. And my vibration went right back up again. And it's just simple reminders, right? Like, don't have those bad thoughts of people, think something good, think something positive. Don't
deal with it. Deal with it right away. Deal with it right away.
Deal with the politics, everything in this world. I mean, it's all just a big horror show. Everybody like acting like a bunch of morons, not getting along, and just like, man, that is not who we are. Like, but it keeps us divided. It keeps us in that place. So, we have to rise above that, and we do that with our thoughts and our energy. And
that's how it starts, right? Change your mind.
Yeah, because at this point, with that,
can I say something, gentlemen? Hold on. Can I have something? I've been listening for 3 hours. Can I say something, please?
In 1 second. But at this point, awareness is one thing. Being aware is one thing, and but putting your energy into it and letting it drag you down, because it's almost the same as if you don't know what's going on, in a way, because you're still buying into that lower vibration. So we have to raise above that and just realize that, the dark has to come to light in order for us to see what's going on. And so this darkness and whatever that we're going through is actually putting that flashlight on the situation. And you notice people are starting to wake up and say, wait a minute, this isn't right. This isn't right. Right. So yes, you can say something, Mr. Adams.
Speak.
Thank you, King Can of Ham. Thank you.
Can of Ham.
So first of all,
do they make canned ham?
I'm better at interrupting than him, because I've done over 200 shows, right? So I'm a professional at needling in there. Go ahead, sir.
I'm extremely polite, believe it or not.
Really?
So anyways, hey, listen. So first of all, it's been a great show. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for sharing your insights.
It feels like we didn't discuss a whole lot.
Dang, I didn't. Let me finish the sentence, please. I thought.
Just so many different directions.
Please finish the thought. I beg of you, sire, please. So anyways, hey, listen. So it was interesting. We're ending on this note, huh, JT? Especially all what we just went through over this weekend. So nip this shit in the butt and don't hold on to that stinking thinking, right? And you know what?
Seriously, man. I mean, it's not magic.
No. It's pretty simple.
It's simple shit, but it's really profound. I mean, just change your thoughts.
That's right.
Change your heart, man. I'm serious.
Deal with yourself, man.
There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear in all this fear-based agenda kind of shit. You don't have to fear it, because I mean we're infinite beings. So that was another thing I realized with that download. We're infinite beings. This is just a drop in the bucket of an eternity of life that are actually playing out right, all simultaneously too. That's another thing. But so
plus we live in a soul trap matrix. Just remember that. So reincarnated soul trap matrix.
So there's really,
we're
buying it. We're buying into fear when we really don't have to. And fear controls us because it keeps us in that vibration, right?
Yes.
It certainly does. That's for
sure. It's important, man.
Anyway.
Your thoughts are very powerful, and I'm horrible at that sometimes, because I think the worst stuff about myself, and that's just basically fucking killing myself, man.
Oh yeah, man. That was
like I have a hard time forgiving myself and loving myself, right?
That was another lesson, man. That was another lesson I had. I was in bed and they just gave me this. They just showed. I was looking at myself from a detached point of view, and looking at all the things I judge myself for. Like I said, from a detached point of view, and I just realized that, there wasn't all that important, and that really we have to start with forgiveness for ourselves, right? Like that's the hardest thing to do. So
that's what I need to work on.
Yeah, well, you can do it. You're worth it, right?
How's it going?
Then we project it onto others, right? Exactly. So with that, the Sasquatch BC, the true story, the Pork and Bean Show, Mr. Brian Bland, thank you so much for sharing your evening. And with that, just a couple of things, a couple of business.
Well, you are smart. You cut me off when I didn't even know it. That's good.
So Thursday I'll be interviewing Stan Gordon. That should be fun. And then also Saturday, WT Watson, Forest Poltergeist. That should be a damn good interview. And then, of course, me and JT will be hanging out with our bro, none other than
Sasquatch Ontario, Mr. Mike Patterson.
Mr. Mike Patterson. The rock and roll star, by the way. He sent me some of his music to do a video with. So yeah.
Cool.
Sir Bland, I hope you join us again soon, maybe next month, huh? I enjoy listening to Mr. Bland. That's, if not, then of course, whenever you feel like it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir.
So what else have we got? What other business? We got all the business taken care of? Yes, we are, sir.
Yes, we are still live. We are live still.
I was almost off my guard there.
And with that, let's end it with, of course, the intro.
Put together a little extra and I'll make the class watch. Pacific Northwest, where we're blessed with Sasquatch. Like in the Himalayas, the abominable snowman, known to have strength more phenomenal than Conan. Discovered evidence of this endangered species. Footprints, hair samples, even stranger feces. Put a bad taste in your mouth like a glass of scotch. Some say it smells worse than an ass or crotch. In British Columbia, they're more than legendary, even though the skeptics claim he's imaginary. Eyewitness accounts that attract attention, while others can't decide if it's a fact or fiction. Is there an ounce of truth? I don't pretend to know. I'm searching for the proof, whether friend or foe. Got his own erotic novel, getting naked with ladies. What's the missing 411? Ask David Pallades.
There's things that are not known. There's things that can't be known. There's things that won't be known. It's okay, you're not alone. There's things that are not known. There's things that won't be known. There's things that can't be known. It's okay, we're not alone.
Oh, there's one more thing I totally forgot. And that is, if anybody hears this and here's to the end, my chair really did break. So I need some help. I really do need some help. Financial help. It costs me a lot of money to do this stuff and make it happen. So if you could look at this, and then you could go to PayPal or Cash App. Either one is Michael Adams O.R.D. 3. Michael
Get the
Adams
O.R.D. man a new
3.
chair, guys. Come on now, let's do it.
I really do need a new chair, man. Obviously, I've been I've been busting my butt. And the chair to go along with it. So with that, thanks everyone. Say bye, JT.
Squatch out, everybody. Love you guys.
Squatch off.